Hi.
Hi.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Morgan.
Yeah. So I have Morgan on my channel tonight, and we are going to be kind of talking about our thoughts and our theories on WandaVision. So, Morgan, before we get started, if you want to go ahead and say a little bit about your channel.
Yeah, so my channel is called Teaching Disney, and I do some like hauls, unboxings, and that are all mostly Disney related, and I have a lot of teaching content as well.
Right. So you do teaching content and a little bit of Disney content, and my ears are crooked.
Yes.
And if you are not been on my channel before, I do Disney content as well, and I've been doing some WandaVision reaction videos, and I'm gonna start doing these every single week. So I hope you will stick around. So Morgan, what did you think of this episode this week?
I thought a lot happened.
A lot, yeah.
It didn't confuse me as much as like some of the other episodes have confused me, and it definitely was a little slower pace, I thought, than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I did like it. I loved it, obviously.
You loved it.
Yeah.
I do think that it was a bit slower paced. But there's some of them too that like I've noticed. For me, like I'm kind of like it was a good episode, but like they're slow.
Yeah,
like,
it reminded me of like the pilot.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of times the episodes are a bit slow. And I don't know, like I don't know, like it's not like they're bad episodes, like, but I felt that about episodes I've really liked. I'm just like, it's just not the fast paced like kind of thing that you, I guess, expect to see when you watch Marvel.
Yeah, and I feel like compared to the episodes that we've had recently, where it's like surprise after surprise after surprise, it was very like a, I don't know how to say it,
Like,
but it was definitely a slower, like not too much going on.
yeah, but I do think that the reveal at the end, like, so made up for it.
Oh, it definitely did. Like toward the end, all of that made up for it. But it definitely answered a lot more questions. I feel like this was an answering question.
Hey, Jeanna Claire. I'm sorry. I was not paying attention to the comments. She says, I'm going to start off backwards. How the heck could they end it like that? Well, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a really good ending, though. Like, I was, like, obsessed. Did you see the bonus, like, scene after the credits of Jeanna Claire? Because I didn't know until Morgan told me. And I was like, I must go see it. It wasn't, like, super riveting or anything, but it was nice to have.
It kind of scared me a little bit. It was kind of like one of those, like, oh, okay, hello.
Yeah, like I never watched past the credits, so, which you would think I would, because I grew up watching like Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was like a classic thing that Pirates of the Caribbean did. They would always put like a scene at the end, so like everyone would be leaving the theater, and then like me and my mom would always sit in the theater till the end, because we're like, oh, these idiots, they don't even know. Like it'd be like us and like two other people, and we would wait till the end, and it was like the best thing. It's strange to me how many people don't watch past the credits.
Yeah, and with the Marvel movies, they did that too. They started doing that, I think, after, I want to say, the second Avengers, they started doing that, and they would put a scene after like the initial credits, and then they would put another one after the whole like roll of credits. So you would have to actually, like, most people get up after the first scene and leave, and there would be like one or two people still staying after the whole really small credits, and then there'd be another scene at the very end, and that some people wouldn't see.
Yeah. Hello, our Paradise Falls. Thank you for joining.
Hi, guys.
Enjoying WandaVision. So as Jeanna Claire said, it was good, but it was like they ended it in the middle of the sentence. She did see that she saw the bonus scene. Let's see.
Yeah.
she was expecting one of the bonus scenes from day one because that is what Marvel did, like you said, Morgan.
Yeah.
I honestly, now I did on the first 2 episodes, I did look for one. But after that, I quit looking because usually, like with things, like with pirates, like people looked for them on Pirates because they were like that, or like the Marvel movies, they were like that consistently.
Yeah.
So, like that's kind of why. I always say if the lights are not on, then the movie's not over. True. That's true. That's very true.
True.
Sorry.
And I'm like you. I don't normally watch the whole credits, especially on the first episode, because I was really confused when the credits came on, and I was like, "How is there still like 5 minutes left of the show? What the heck?" And so, I'm glad they put that in there. Maybe because people weren't staying for the credits. Maybe that's why they put it in.
Well, like I noticed that with a lot of Disney Plus stuff is that the credits are always super duper long. And but like they cut it off and you got this whole segment and you're like, okay, like is there something in there? And that's why I looked at first because WandaVision was one of the first ones I watched on Disney Plus. So
but I guess now that we know, because I know we talked about last week how it says in the credits, like someone said it was in the credits, it was about, it had the name Metaphyso in there or something like that.
Oh yeah,
it was in one of the credits, and I guess that's why they want you to watch the TV credit ones, like the fake show credits.
Yeah, sorry if I look like I'm looking away. I'm trying to do some tags so like maybe find this video because I'm just a terrible person and I didn't do it beforehand. Let's see. I have so many questions. Like, how did Darcy know who she was? Okay, so I do know this. Vision touched her. And she had memories. So that's how she knows who she was. Oh, okay. I needed to read the rest of the question. Yes, you were correct. That is I just quit reading the question. And also, Jean Claire loves her ears from Our Paradise Falls. That's sweet. So yeah, that's how though.
Yeah.
He did touch her and she got her memories back. And she's the first one that I think he's like let be, because usually he like switches them back. But yeah, I was just having the flashback to Agnes and that like
what I was about to say, like, oh, I guess
she's like creepy, and I hate. Okay, let's just talk about how she killed Sparky and how that is that upset.
I was crying when she said that Anna killed Sparky. I was like, no.
No, it's so funny. Is in my last reaction video. Oh, hang on, Allie is coming on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, dear.
Welcome. We were just talking about Agnes killing Sparky.
Okay, if you're talking about WandaVision, I haven't watched it. Remember?
Oh, okay. Well,
I can talk about Marvel, except for that one.
Allie is like one of the biggest Marvel people. We established this last week, which I was talking to her earlier, and because I keep getting comments that are like, because I was gonna watch like chronologically the Marvel stuff, and then like someone was like, no, don't do that, like watch them like from release date, and I like messaged Allie on Marco Polo. I'm like, what do I do? Because she knows. So yeah, but I forgot you haven't actually seen WandaVision, and I'm so excited for you to see it, but I'm also kind of like, I don't want you to be spoiled because that's kind of what's gonna.
That's okay. No worries. No worries.
Okay, when you watched like my whole one last week, and that was like spoiler. You missed Morgan because you left. Morgan broke my heart with Wolverine.
Oh no! What?
Like, okay, so I told her I'd seen all of X-Men, and then like she thought I saw Logan, and then she tells me the bombshell that happens in Logan, and I cried on live. Like my face, I'm reading her. This is what it looked like. I was reading her comment, and I went, "What?"
I cry on that scene every time. Yeah, let's not get started on that one.
No, I don't want to spoil it for people who like did not see, but yeah. Do you guys think Agnes is the big bad of the season, or do you think another villain has yet to be revealed? Okay, so for me, I don't know. Well, Morgan has a different theory, I know. But I kind of think maybe it is Agnes. But my question with that is, if it is Agnes, like how is that going to carry over? like, how is Agnes's character going to carry over to like the rest of the Marvel universe? Like, how are we going to see her in the future? Like, that's kind of what I think of. But I do. Morgan has a little bit of a different theory there.
Yeah, so my theory is that Agnes is kind of like a side villain right now, kind of how we all thought Loki was the big villain in Avengers, and it turned out he really wasn't. So I think if they're trying to have a season 2, which I'm not sure, because from what I heard, from what I know, I think Doctor Strange, I've heard Wanda is going to be in Doctor Strange 2, which is supposed to pick up where WandaVision leaves off in season 1. So I think Metaphyso is somehow going to come into this. Either he's working with Agnes or he is controlling Agnes in some way. Because all the things that she said she did were kind of just like little things to mess Wanda's life up. I don't know that she is actually the one controlling Wanda, controlling this universe, if that makes sense. So I think there's a larger villain at work, and Agnes just happened to be in the bubble.
I mean, knowing Marvel's history, it sounds like that's definitely a possibility. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's also on the record that anytime we theorize, Morgan's usually always correct, and I'm not. Like, every single theory I think I've ever put out has been wrong. Every single theory. So take that with what you will. I mean, I still like theorizing, and I was telling Morgan on the pre-show, I was like, honestly, there are sometimes you'd send me a theory, and I'm like, this girl, I mean, she's crazy. I don't know. I don't see that happening. And then she was always right, and I'm like, dang, I just don't know. Ajana Claire says she was not surprised at all by the ending because
Really?
Agnes wasn't freaking out when she found Sparky. So she knew that Agnes probably killed Sparky. But I don't know. I mean, I honestly didn't even suspect Agnes until last week. People were like talking about Agnes. So
yeah, I didn't. I thought she was kind of in on something somehow. Like maybe Wanda didn't have as much control over her as she had over everyone else in the town. But I'm not. I'm a little shocked that happens, but also like not shocked in the same way.
Yeah, I'm not shocked after like because I kept thinking last episode it was Pietro that was going to take the twins. Like, yeah. I really felt that in my heart. I was like, he's going to take those kids. Like, I was certain, and then I was wrong. And then, and then this week I was not wrong. People helped me with it. So, hey, April.
But Jeff, what do you think? Jeff, do you think Agnes is going to be the big bad, or do you think someone else is? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. I do want to say real quick, because Morgan called me out in pre-show. I kept saying that April was saying stuff last week, and it was Morgan. Morgan was like, you would say, oh, that's a great point, April, but it was me. And I was like, oh.
It's okay. We both have dark hair. It's fine.
Okay. And what's sad is your profile. Like I was saying, I was like, oh, maybe your thumbnails are a little like they're not. They're not at all. So I don't know what happened.
Like, I just changed mine. So
okay, maybe
last week they were kind of similar.
Oh, okay. That's your association right there, Kaylee. So
okay, that makes me feel a tiny bit better because I was like, oh gosh, but I wouldn't put it past me because I was a hot mess. I love the Agnes TV theme. I did too. I actually really thought that was a good theme. Now with her theme though, at the beginning, like, did you guys notice how like she like magicked herself into like that like 50s outfit or whatever? Like she changed her, but she looked so creepy before she changed. Like her like outfit looked so creepy, like a real witch. It was just, I don't know. I noticed that. It was really, really spooky, and she freaks me out a little bit.
It does make sense though, because I did like with the Halloween episode, she was dressed up as a witch. And then she cackles like a witch when she's meeting with Vision, when she starts to go insane, she like starts cackling like a witch, which it's in the previews as well, that scene of her cackling.
Yeah.
In any WandaVision preview for the series, that scene's in there. And so in the beginning, I thought, oh, maybe she's like a witch or something too because of that. But
yeah, I don't know. I didn't.
Nightmare. Who's Nightmare? I don't think I've heard of that.
Nightmare or Mephisto. I don't know how to say that.
Mephisto.
I've heard so many people say it different. I don't know. Show up as the main villain. I mean, I like to say, like, I don't know. I like to think that it will be Agnes, but I'm probably also very wrong. I think
it's going to be Mephisto.
Yeah, I would think it's Mephisto, just because people keep commenting Mephisto to me. So
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Zoel's comment right now. First off, walked into a basement that had trees and vines. What?
That's what I said. I was like, why are you walking in there? Don't turn back.
I know. Like, so Wanda, like, literally, because Allie, I know, again, you haven't actually seen
That's
this.
okay. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, like, okay, she literally walks down there, and, like, on the wall, she has, like, there's, like, tree branches. I keep trying to, like, get my face in this.
Isn't it hard? Yeah, you're always kind of like, yeah,
I move so much. Yeah, she, like, walks down, and there's, like, trees and everything, and she's just like, I'm gonna keep walking in here. Like, she doesn't change her facial expression. She doesn't, like, nothing. She's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna keep walking down here. Agnes just needs to do some work on her basement. Like, no big deal. Like, it's so odd. And then she walks in and sees, like, all these, like, dark magical artifacts, and she's like, these are interesting.
Like, if it were me and I don't have kids, so I don't know what it would be like if your kids are missing and they're supposedly in the basement and you can't hear them. But if it were me, I would not walk down the basement steps. I would just be like, boys, get up here. Let's go.
Yeah, she didn't try very hard either. She's like, boys, okay, I'm going to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Hi. Thank you for coming. Nightmare and Mephisto are characters from the comics. Okay, yeah. Mephisto's name comes up a whole lot in my comments. A lot of people think he's involved. And I like to think maybe he's involved. And I don't know, do you think Morgan or anyone in the comments, do you think that if he is involved, do you think that he's related at all to Agnes? Or I guess her name is actually Agatha. So they've changed her name.
Yeah.
So do you think that he's going to be related to her, or do you think they're going to be two completely different villains?
I don't know. I wonder if they're going to be working together because I don't know anymore.
He might be like manipulating her or something, or he might be like her mentor, her like, you know, like how sometimes they'll have like someone like learning from someone higher up, I guess. Hi, Christina. Thank you for coming. Are you okay?
I was reading
Modern
Mouse Josh, his comment there. I was like, whoa, okay.
But in the I looked up Mephisto because I wasn't sure exactly. I've read the WandaVision comics before, but I wasn't too invested in it. But he is also a big character a big villain character when it comes to Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. So I have a feeling that even though he's supposed to be the devil/demon, that they're going to start introducing him anyway, since it is technically under the Marvel umbrella. Because they're also, Disney's doing, what's his name? Ryan Reynolds.
Why am I saying Wolverine? Deadpool.
Deadpool and it's really rated R.
I love that.
He also played Green Lantern, did he not? Okay.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, you have to watch the second one that he had, the second movie, because there's a thing about Green Lantern there. So at the end. So. But yeah.
But Deadpool 3 is being done by Disney, and it's rated R.
Well, think about it.
All rated R. They probably should.
Only his movies, because it's pretty. It's borderline. There's a lot of foul language. There's a lot of violence.
There's a lot of gore.
Yeah. I see your mouth open, Kaylee. So I
comment. Okay, like Christina said, mind blown.
Oh my gosh.
It's your husband. Oh my gosh. If he turned out to be Ralph, that would be hilarious. I would actually really love that because we didn't see Ralph at all this episode, and maybe Ralph isn't even a thing. But my mind would be blown. Like, that would be so awesome if, like, Mephisto turned out to be her husband.
It's a possibility. You never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy.
Christy.
Okay, let's see.
I'm just, wow.
Disney is yeah. I agree, April.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't want that. It makes sense, but
Yes, that's Modern Mouse. When I looked that up last week. Remember, Kaylee? I was saying when I looked up, I was so like,
Yes.
I started like almost bawling.
Yeah, in the comments, she was like, "Do not Google this."
I was like, "Don't Google it. Don't Google who he is or how he's related."
It makes sense though, for real, and that's kind of why, like, I do think maybe he's involved.
That's why I think too, because it said something about like she awakes Mephisto because she makes her children. That's what it said when I looked it up.
I don't know. It still confuses me how, like, everything happens in that world, and also like Agnes's role in it, because she obviously is manipulating Wanda the entire time, like, because she's the camera person. So I guess she's the one. I always ask this question in, like, my reactions, and I'm like, I know I sound crazy that this bothers me so much, but it does. Like, why would you have this broadcast? Like, that's what confuses me. Like, if you're having, like, this secret world, why are you making it a broadcast where people can watch it? Like, I don't ever, like, that just, it irks me, and I want to know why.
I wonder if, like, I originally thought Wanda made it, and I thought it was like her way of processing the information that was happening. Mm-hmm. Because it's not obvious. It's not when they first did it, it wasn't a regular TV broadcast. It was, it could only be played on the old school TV, and now they can't play it at all. So I wonder if that's because she now found out about Agnes.
What was it? I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was a reason, and it made sense to me. I think it was because, well, I guess in my mind, I thought it was because she moved the border so much, and that, like, because she was weaker, like, how everything was, like, changing between the decades and stuff, because, like, she didn't have the power to keep it all there anymore. Like, she didn't have the power to keep it all the same, and because she moved the border. I feel like because of that, that's, like, why they lost the broadcast, because she, like, didn't have the power to do it, which I told Morgan before this, I was going to bring this back up. That commercial where it's, like, draining your magic from last episode, I swear, I feel like someone is draining Wanda's magic, and I feel like it's either, like, maybe Agnes/Agatha, maybe she's, like, kind of channeling Wanda's magic and stealing it, or maybe Mephisto is. Like, that's one of my theories that, again, probably will be wrong, but I feel confident in this. Like, that commercial stuck with me, and I was like, I feel like there is something to that commercial.
Well, in the episode when she goes down into the basement, you see that there are these roots all over, and the roots are all, like, have purple magic, even though Wanda's is red. They have, like, a purpley sparkle, and that kind of tends to be the aura that Agatha starts to have. So I wonder if, since they're roots, they're, like, rooted into the ground, and so that's how it's draining Wanda's magic, like, maybe.
Well, I don't know if she's Allie's like, I have no idea, but yeah.
No, but she's making a valid point. That's why I was like, yeah, that could be what it is.
What you know about the show.
I'm learning more reading all the comments and hearing what you guys are saying. So
I feel like
we're gonna get watch more of the comments. We really are. What I was gonna say really quick before I read some more comments is about Wanda, like, that ending scene where, like, Wanda, like, it's almost like that scene a few episodes ago where, like, Wanda turned all the soldiers against Hayward, and, like, you know, you could see that, like, her red magic working on him, and then you saw Wanda and you saw the purple. So it's like Agatha was using the same kind of magic on Wanda. So I thought that was kind of like maybe she was taking some of her powers and stuff because she had a lot of artifacts and stuff. Okay, April says Disney is starting to let Marvel get edgier. Falcon and Winter Soldier has a TV rating of R, which shocks me. I did not know that, April.
It doesn't surprise me with how Bucky's character is supposed to be. And I don't think Sam is going to let up on him.
And it could be that there's going to be quite a bit more violence in it potentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me just say I'm happy Sebastian Stan is still in this franchise.
Yeah. I was ecstatic when they brought him back. I mean, even though you haven't seen the Winter Soldier.
I know. Well, I say he's alive. I mean, I'm assuming he's alive. I don't know any details about him being.
I'm not going to say nothing else. I was just all just glad he's in it.
Okay, so John Claire asks, so are they his children, the Mephisto? I'm assuming so, since that's what people. I mean, I don't think they're visions. I don't know how that would even work.
When I looked it up, it said that she created them out of like magic, obviously. And which is why I found it funny when she said their father is made of vibranium. So they literally have thick skin. And I was like, but they're not actually made of vibranium.
Yeah.
Huh.
There was a comment I got a few episodes ago where someone was saying that they think that the twins are going to be significant in another series coming up, or going to go to they're going to use the twins, and I would love them to do that. So
I don't stick around. I like that. I like the actor.
That was my biggest thing this whole episode is I was like, okay, where are the children? Because I was more worried about her children than Wanda was, honestly. I was like, Wanda was chill. And I'm like, where are those children at? Okay, let's see. I assume the next episode will be a flashback. So we learn how Agnes got to Westview. I would love that so much. I don't think I would love the whole episode being a flashback. Oh, is Jean Claire's on? Okay.
What? Oh.
You're like, I would have been on the street.
I went and did my hair and makeup.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. We're having a party. If anyone else will stop. Wait, I don't know how many I can even have on a free account, so maybe not. Yeah, but I would love a flashback episode for Agnes. But I don't want it to be like the whole entire episode personally, because we only have 2 episodes left. So I feel like that would be like a lot.
Oh, there are 2? I thought there was only 1. I thought next week was the finale.
7. So we have 8 and 9, right?
Oh, okay.
I think. Morgan.
There's only 9 in the season?
Mm-hmm.
I know. They
cheated
us. They cheated us.
I know. I'm like, I can't believe it's almost over because it's getting so good. And I'm just like, I'm just sad. Okay, let's see. Heard a prediction where someone thought Evan Peters' Quicksilver could be Mephisto in disguise, or it could be Ralph. That makes sense. I thought he was really sketchy. And there was like that part where like she brought Mephisto, she brought Petro back. Like it showed it was Agnes at the end. So that could make sense that it's Ralph or Mephisto.
Or he's being controlled by them.
Yeah, or he's being controlled. Because I do like that Pietro, and I would like him to stay around. Christina said that she thought that as well. So
that's not a bad theory, though.
It's not. Mm-hmm. April too loves Sebastian Stan. He my boy. But Christina does not like Bucky as a character. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like Bucky?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to answer that without spoiling it for you, but there's 2 sides to Bucky.
It's hard, yeah.
So,
that's a hard one to do. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay. I like him based on what Kaylee knows. This isn't giving anything away, but I really liked what he was before and how he stood up for Captain America before he became Captain America, like when he was scrawny and little, and how he was kind of a big brother. So I like him based on that. And I still think, even though he's undergone a lot, I still think he truly has those qualities. And his rivalry with Sam, I think, is just the cutest. But at the end in Avengers, what happens in Endgame with those three, not giving anything away, I think it just shows you how, like, I think really the rivalry between the two is more Sam than anyone, because Bucky knows he's my best friend. He's always going to be my best friend. He can have a second best friend. Like, but Sam is like, no.
Your best friend since childhood, and Sam is the newer best friend as an adult.
Yeah, and Sam, I feel like Sam is more in that mindset of, no, he's my best friend and you can't have him, blah, blah, blah. But so I think it'll be interesting as to how their relationship works now.
And what's funny that you said that is typically that type of jealousy is between women as best friends. You don't see that a lot in male relationships and male characters. So that's funny.
Really knowing nothing about it and hearing Morgan describe it, it's really like an elementary school fight where it's like, no, you're my best friend. You can't have another best friend. Like, it sounds like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of going to school every day.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think the twins, along with Kate Bishop, the new Hawkeye, will end up being the Young Avengers. Okay. I think that I heard something similar to that. So I just hope that they keep them.
Wait, do I need to read the comics and not just watch the movies? There's going to be a new Hawkeye?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, that's what
I'm about as confused about a new Hawkeye as I was about Carol Danvers not being the only Captain Marvel. Wait.
Yeah. Wait, is Kate
that could be the same thing
his daughter? Is Kate Bishop his daughter?
I don't know.
We'll see.
No clue.
It could be. But I'm not sure. That thing about thing is the same way I feel about a new Thor coming into the lineup, because I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and he's not going to be Thor anymore. Someone else is going to be Thor. So
it's gonna be who he at the end of whatchamacallit, at the end of Endgame. It's gonna be about her and her being the new, I don't know if she's the new Thor or if she's just taking over.
It's the girl he's in love with in the Thor movies. It's his love interest in the first two Thor movies is what I heard. But either way,
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman is the one who is going to be the new Thor. So
back?
I actually heard that. I did. I think that's.
And I love Natalie Portman.
But where has she been? Like, I don't want to spoil anything for you, Kaylee, but it's like after the first Thor, it was like, where was she? Or the second Thor?
Movie, it was just known when Loki or somebody asked him about your girlfriend, he said they broke up. So supposedly think about it. They live on two different worlds. It's a long distance relationship. So but yeah,
that's why it seems like a stretch for her to come back as the new Thor.
Yeah, and she where was she the whole time during Endgame and the whole war? Was she someone that went, and came back? Like, what happened?
Yeah, those are good questions. I was super shocked when I saw that. I'm like, what?
So that's what Love and Thunder.
April's excited about that.
I think
April, why?
I did actually see that I think she's gonna, or I don't know, I didn't see her specifically, but I saw like it was gonna be a woman Thor. I do remember that. I'm divided in the comments because April says I'm excited for Natalie Portman, and then Christina says,
"Oh hell no!"
Okay,
that really disappoints me because I was really looking forward to. I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but the one that he picks to run
Valkyrie
Asgard.
Valkyrie.
Yeah, the Valkyrie. That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be about her. And so now I'm a little disappointed because I love her.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, that really would have been a good spin. But no, because she's supposed to be the new, sorry, Kaylee. She's supposed to be the new one taking over Asgard. So yeah.
Huh. It would have made more sense for Darcy to be the new Thor. For Natalie Portman.
Darcy. But yeah, Christina agrees the Valkyrie girl needs to be the new Thor.
You probably don't even know what the Valkyrie is.
I know, yeah. You've got to catch up.
I've heard of the Valkyrie. Okay. So I very basically know, but no.
The Valkyrie girl definitely makes more sense though.
Oops.
But yes. Okay, Ajana Claire, I don't think we properly got to welcome you to the chat. We were kind of in the middle. We were like, oh, Ajana Claire's coming on.
I was like, wait, I want to do my makeup. I want to come and be on a chat.
I know. I told her, I said, it worked out for me because I just got off a show. So I was already done up. I was like, I might as well just pop in.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy to have you guys on here. And this is so much fun. I just love talking to you guys, even if I'm a little bit clueless. I do appreciate you guys trying not to spoil me, but I feel like after the last week bombshell with Morgan, I don't think I could get any worse.
Well, Wolverine is technically not in this universe, so
tell me about Wolverine.
But that wasn't a spoiler, Kaylee. That wasn't a spoiler. That was a, how the hell did you not know that?
I was telling her how on at least my screen, I think it was delayed. So like I would see her say something, I would send it. And I don't know if it was my sending that was delayed or it popping up on her end. But so when she said, oh, I've seen all the Wolverines. So I said, okay, so you know that Wolverine dies. And then she's like, except Logan. I haven't seen Logan, but I'd already hit send. And I was like, no.
You set yourself up for that one, Kaylee. Oh my gosh.
And this is probably bad. I really don't read the whole comment before I put it on the screen. I don't. And so I just saw she commented, so I put it on the screen and I literally watched the playback because I was going to try to screen share and I was like, that's too much work. And I was reading it and literally this was me. I was reading it and I go, I was like, oh my God. And I told her, I was like, I about cried. Like, I literally did. I teared up a little bit because I was so shook.
But how did you not know that? Like,
I don't know, because
Hugh Jackman is like 500 years old now. Like, he can't be Wolverine anymore.
I know. Well, because I was on this, like, superhero kick when I was, like, younger, and I like got them all I rented them all from the library. I watched them all, and I loved them. I loved Hugh Jackman mostly. Like we already talked about the girl characters that kind of annoyed me in that show, and some of the guy characters. Like there was a lot of characters. Bye, Allie. There were a lot of characters that I didn't enjoy in that.
Okay, now I don't fit in the camera anymore.
Okay, I was like, we were like this, and I literally was like. Strong. What was I even saying? I've totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, no, I didn't realize how old he was, to be honest, because I was so young. And then I like kind of got out of it and I quit caring about superheroes for a long time. Hey, Kat.
I have like mascara or something in my it like just in my eye.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Okay, guys. Oh, wait, I've totally missed some comments. I'm really sorry. Christina, she does not like Natalie Portman, apparently.
I didn't like her. I honestly skipped both Thor 1 and 2 because I really didn't like anyone in the Thor universe, really. They all kind of like Natalie Portman's character really annoyed me. Thor really annoyed me.
I tried watching it one time and I really didn't like it. Like it was so boring to me. And if I think if Allie had to like completely go, I think she probably did. Then I won't offend her by saying this because I know she loves Thor. But I just was so bored. And so I was like last week I was like, I don't know, you guys. Like, should I even like? Is it gonna be interesting? Because I don't know. But like even Captain America, like I enjoyed that more than I probably would have like 10 years ago. So
I don't know. I feel like on the Thor movies though, for me. Because I had no history of Marvel, like, whatsoever. Like, none. Like, I literally came onto, like, the Marvel movie based off of the fact that my husband was watching Endgame with a friend, and I saw the last 15 minutes of Endgame. And I was like, and I knew nothing about, like, the series, and I was just like, wait a minute. You killed the main character? Like, I don't, like, now I have to watch, because now I'm intrigued. Like, it's like a show doesn't take off like the lead character, right? That's like Grey's Anatomy taking off Meredith Grey. Like, like how do you still have a show after that? So I started watching, and I think I was watching with a different eye. So by the time I got to Thor, it was like I had to watch it because it was already a part of the puzzle that I was putting together. So I couldn't skip it. Like if you're just probably watching it like out of order, or you're just like, oh, Thor came out, I'm gonna watch Thor, and you try to watch it, it might be hard to watch. But when you're watching it as part of like to get like the whole picture, you can't skip it.
I don't think I've rewatched the whole Avengers series probably twice now. I think 2 or 3 times. I really, other than knowing who Thor is and a little bit of his backstory, I really don't. And Allie might disagree with me, but I really don't think Thor is the first 2 Thor movies are important in context to Endgame.
I don't know, because the first one is the one where you got this portal of like, oh, I don't know what to say. Like, Haley, tell me.
I'm sorry. I didn't send the live stream to the group. I sent the stream part to the group.
But I mean, there are things that happened in Thor. Maybe not the characters, but the storyline. Like there were things that happened in the Thor storyline that made sense, that helped make other things that happened later on make sense. So I see what you're saying about maybe the characters themselves not being necessary.
I still skip over it because I'm like, I don't think it's important. That's my opinion though. And I think you get like other pieces of that story. Like it's just other minor things that you can get in the rest of the movie. And so I'm like, why do I have to sit here and watch this movie that I don't like?
Yeah. Well, I've never seen any of the Spider-Man movies, but that's only because they're not on Disney Plus and I refuse to pay to watch.
I love Spider-Man.
Like I'm already paying for Disney Plus and cable. I'm not paying for something else to watch another movie.
Just really quickly, I'm not going to put the comment up there because I don't want to spoil, but Christina, I agree about Game of Thrones because that killed me. In case you guys have not seen Game of Thrones, I will not talk about it. But
and I agree with Kat. Not that it's the only good Thor. I like all 3 of them, but I will say that's my favorite Thor movie.
That's what we were talking about, Allie.
Yeah.
I said that I really dislike Thor.
I know. I was like, it's
I
funny.
think you said that in the comments last week because I remember someone saying that. So yeah,
I don't like how cocky. I really don't like, and I don't know if it's because I'm a teacher, so I deal with kids that have this complex as well. But I really just don't like cocky individuals. Thor rubs me Thor and Iron Man rub me the wrong way.
I know.
Well, and I can see that in the first. Go ahead. What, Kaylee?
I was saying last week, Morgan just called us out because literally it was hilarious. Allie says, Allie literally comments, oh, I love Thor. And Morgan's like, I hate Thor.
The next comment.
Iron Man. And Morgan literally comments, I hate Iron Man.
I can definitely see Morgan's point though. I can see your point on the first movie, especially because that is how his character is. I think he's evolving in each of the movies, but yeah, I could definitely agree with that. And note to self, don't stretch your legs out and accidentally hit the plug on the computer because I lost power. So
I just was like, that was sudden. Or are we talking so much where Allie couldn't be like, I've got to leave?
No, I saw your video and I was like, I think she's frozen, but I'm not gonna say anything. And then she clicked off and I was like,
literally like I didn't even unplug the computer. I literally just tapped the cord with my toe, and there must be a very sensitive that it just shut my whole computer down. So yeah.
Perfectly, Kat. I own the entire, there's like this Marvel encyclopedia, and I own the Marvel and the DC one because my mom got me the wrong one originally. But I own the Marvel one, and it has literally the backstory and all side stories of every single character in the Marvel universe and how they're related.
Oh, wow.
Kat,
look it up on it.
I definitely need that. I got a Women of Marvel book the other day.
Oh, Kat, I'm so glad you're here because I was literally just thinking, where's Kat at when we're talking Marvel?
Fearless and fantastic. It's about the women though?
It's about the women.
Okay.
So it's all of the female superheroes of the Marvel universe.
Oh.
Also, Kat said this comment. She says, every Christmas week we watch all 23 movies as a family, which is so sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's too much time.
Yeah. Let's see. They're also talking about someone in the comments that I don't know, but this is Christina says she would love for the MCU to go more into detail about the Bifrost guy.
Yes, we can go into detail about the Bifrost guy. Bring me Idris.
That's oh, you haven't seen Thor, have you, Kaylee?
It's okay. Go ahead. It's like Greek to me, what y'all were saying. So
he's like
he's just a gatekeeper. He's just another character. It's that's not really a spoiler to introduce him to you.
Although
it's just another character.
My favorite character in Thor.
Yeah, he's like his best friend.
And then my favorite Thor is Fat Thor.
Yeah, I'll take it either way.
I've seen the memes on that one.
But he's kind of like Thor's best friend in a sense. And and you'll see that in the later movies, but in the Avengers movies. But yeah.
Yes, Kat. It just is a beautiful man. Beautiful man.
Yeah.
All right. So to get back on the WandaVision track for just a minute, I'll send this one more for Kat. He's the reason Thor can go back to Earth. Okay, so back on the WandaVision track for just a minute, because this is titled WandaVision. It's fine. Like, we can totally talk about Marvel because it's Marvel chat. But Jeanna Claire, what were your thoughts on this episode, and was there anything that you wanted to talk about for this episode in particular?
Yeah, I mean, for this episode, I thought the beginning was just like a little bit of a waste. I think the first half of the episode, it was like the whole like carnival scene with Vision and Darcy and the whole like come get on stage from the stage manager. I was just like, there's so much story that we need to be telling right now. We don't have time for these random fillers. They were so unnecessary.
I agree. I thought it was going to be like a whole thing where they were actually going to go on stage and talk on stage, and it was going to be like a whole thing. But then when they just drove off, I was like, okay, why did we even that was kind of
why did we even have that scene? Like, that whole scene could have been cut out of the show, and it wouldn't have made a difference whatsoever. That was very disappointing that we're about 2 or 3 episodes from the finale, and you're wasting our time with that.
And I felt like they really connect going off of that. I felt like in the beginning, they were really trying to sell, because this one was supposed to be, Allie, I don't know if you know, but like every single episode is based off of a sitcom from that era. So this was based off of Modern Family.
Okay. It looks like it's in the previews, but yeah.
Yeah, so like the whole setup was based on Modern Family. And I feel like in the beginning of the episode, they were really pushing that more than they have, like kind of similar to what they did in the pilot. Where they
But it was like too much of nothing, right? Like, it was too much of just, even just Wanda just sitting, talking, lamenting. Like, it wasn't until like that commercial that I'm like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere now.
Yeah. Christina says, I couldn't get with the first half either. Why did they even drive? And that is a good question. I mean, especially because they're sitting there, and I do still think it was Wanda that was trying to maybe stop him, but it could have also been Agnes. I keep forgetting what to call her because they're about the same name. So I don't know if it was like Agnes that like was trying to kind of defer him because she knew that she took the boys. So like maybe she was trying to keep Vision from getting back, or maybe, I feel like it makes sense also for it to be Wanda, because Wanda knows that like he knows, And
I think Vision in the past has started to pick up on some strange things that Agnes has not reacted to. Like when Wanda uses her magic right in front of Agnes, when the boys change from babies to 10-year-olds suddenly right in front of her, she doesn't react. And I think Vision, even though they're under Wanda's control, supposedly, I think Vision has picked up that Agnes is slightly different than everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I found it interesting that they put her in the intro for the Halloween episode. I think it was. And she was really not, she was in it, but they had her like in the intro, which I thought was so odd because like for her not to and she was with the boys in the intro, mind you, like they were all three of them together. So I feel like that was kind of significant. April says that she thinks the drive will have more of an underlying meaning later on. But Christina's like, he could fly. So she's kind of just.
Which she ends up doing anyway.
Like, let's
just make her, yes.
Just get it over with. Like, we don't need all of that. Kat says she's glad that they explained Pietro a little bit, and Agatha was fun to watch. She was definitely fun to watch. I loved that ending montage, or her intro, outro, whatever. And I've got a lot of questions still about Pietro though, but I'm happy that we know that it was kind of Agatha who was behind that. Because I mean, I feel like earlier in the episode we realized it wasn't Wanda, because Wanda was like, she was questioning it, like, about Pietro.
She was confused.
Like,
it was like the things that she thought she was controlling, she knew about, like, right? Like, she knew that she brought Vision back. She knew about, like, the things that she was controlling, she was very clear on. And she was like, you know, I got this. But when it came to Pietro, it was just like, I'm not really sure.
But even with what she knew she was controlling, she like didn't know how it happened. Like, she was saying, I just don't know how it all occurred. So I think, I don't know. Like, I feel like either Agnes or like a Mephisto was like in it. I feel like maybe that's like they manipulated Wanda to create that. Like, they kind of like used her in a way and her grief to kind of manipulate that, because I just think she's really confused about what's going on. Like, she knows that she's manipulating people, but she doesn't understand like how it's all happening, I guess, or like I just think she's a pawn in it at the end of the day.
I think she's a pawn too, and that's only because of the conversation that they had about the bad guy sword agent. What's his name? Do you know what I'm talking about? The
Mephisto?
No, this is he who the sword agent is?
No, not the sword agent.
The jerky sword agent.
Oh,
Hayward.
Hayward. Because they said that Hayward wanted to use. So they, what's her name?
Darcy.
No, the black chick.
Monica.
Monica was trying to tell Wanda that Hayward wanted to use Vision as a weapon. Yeah. So it would, and he couldn't do it until Wanda got the body. So maybe she was being manipulated from before she even created this bubble, this hex, this broadcast universe to even go and get the body to bring him back. Like, so I think like there is just something bigger happening outside of all of this.
I have a different theory about that. So I just rewatched Endgame and Infinity War, and Kaylee, I'm gonna try my hardest not to spoil.
Close your ears, Kaylee. Cover your eyes.
When they're talking about getting the Mind Stone out of him and him possibly being able to exist beyond the Mind Stone, I think that was her rationale for getting his body, and she put him in this kind of thing so that she could maybe figure that out as it went on. And now she's just getting caught up in the fairy tale of it. But I think that was her processing behind it, that maybe if I get his body, I bring him back to life, we can figure out how to get the Mind Stone out like we were trying to before.
Yeah.
And really do it so he can exist outside the hex.
I really think it had something to do with the bad guys who's controlling all of this. He's putting it all into motion from like the very beginning. Like this was part of their plan. Because I maybe Wanda wouldn't have even, she was grieving, but maybe she wouldn't have done this had she, to even start it, because she's really confused as to how this is happening. She knows it's happening. She kind of wants it to happen, but she's very confused as to how it all came together. And with Hayward wanting Vision as a weapon, then it just kind of makes me think he didn't just think of this when he saw, Vision is alive in the hex, so let's use him as a weapon. I feel like he's part of this kind of whole conspiracy to bring Vision back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know if she was manipulated with this part, but I feel like what I know for 100% in my mind, I feel like is Wanda is her getting Vision's body. Because I do think she probably thought in her brain, I can bring him back. And so she went and got him. And I think she maybe went to that town thinking that she could do it, and like I don't know, but I think that the hex creation and controlling people, I think that could have been manipulated a bit, and like it just kind of got out of her control, and like she was using magic to try to make it good with Vision, and then like, you know, Agnes or Mephisto or whoever kind of like took advantage of that and like made it into what they wanted it to be, to like you know, I think the twins are part of it. Obviously, they want the twins for some reason. That's what I think. But I don't know. I just feel like for sure she wanted Vision back, and I feel like that was her main goal, I guess. Like she wanted him back, and I think Hayward, though. I mean, didn't they say in that episode with the like he held that footage for a long time, like they knew that she had taken him, and like I think he wanted her to be successful. Like
I agree with the YouTuber. Hayward is suspicious.
Yeah, I think that is
he's
like,
suspect. He's totally suspect.
I feel like if they wouldn't have found out that like the town was being held hostage and like they had to talk about it, I feel like he wouldn't have said that she even took Vision. Like I feel like he would have just let her bring Vision back and then try to get Vision back. So let's see.
So I guess what the question that I have for you guys who like know more about the comics series is, how does Monica get her powers? Like, are they trying to say it came from her going in and out of the hex? Kind of like, you know, Captain Marvel got her powers when she was like exposed to that, you know, after that accident. You didn't watch that one yet either, did you?
Wait, which one are we talking about? I was
Captain Marvel.
Okay, good. You didn't hear what I said, so I'm gonna let that go.
Okay, like I'm being serious, you guys. Like what you're saying is Greek to me. Like the whole mind sword talk. I was like, okay, I just don't know.
So I'm just trying to figure out like how Monica gets her powers.
I think,
and maybe it was explained in the comics somewhere.
I don't read I only read the comics that I'm actually interested in, which was mainly X-Men. But I know that's bad. But I think it's because they said her cells were mutating because of her going in and out of the hex, and they said, don't do it again, it'll be really bad. And so when she's in that stage between being in the hex and being outside the hex, I think that's just what, and I don't know if this is because I also study biology, but that's the trigger that just, cells are all about triggers, and that's the trigger that just fully mutated the cells, and now she's a superhero. But it does make me wonder if she's going to be the new Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel 2, what happened to Captain Marvel? Like, she's still around, clearly, but why is she, I don't
know, where the heck was she for all 22 movies? Like,
why is there more than one?
I mean, in the timeline, wasn't she like the first one?
Why is there more than one if there's still one? Like,
but I mean, historically, like, even though her movie only came out like a couple of years ago, in the actual like chronological timeline, she was like the first, right? The second. She was the second. So I'm like,
her to go to Ireland.
But so she has existed with all of her powers all of these years when they're fighting aliens coming into her. Like, where was she?
Well, they explained that she wasn't the only person on Earth that knew how to contact her was eye patch dude, Nick Fury. Nick Fury was the only one that knew how to contact her, and she was out in the universe saving other planets that didn't have people like the Avengers, that would have just been crushed because they don't have anyone protecting them. So she was protecting those planets, and then she doesn't come back to Earth until she's called, which is when everything happens. He hits that button and you see it.
Yeah.
And didn't she just perfect her powers like at the later end of her story, basically? Like, you know, she didn't realize she had them and had to perfect them like everyone else. So sorry, Kaylee, we keep getting off on a Marvel topic. We all love Marvel.
No,
it kind of all like ties into where, if they're not bringing back a second season of WandaVision and they're kind of just using this as like a kicker to another phase of the Marvel movies, it is kind of like the lead-in, because it's like they're going to leave us hanging with a lot of cliffhangers at the end of this season to build the anticipation for the upcoming movies.
But it does make me wonder, like, after this is over, like after the first season's over, and say they want to come out with a season 2, I just don't know where they would go from here. Like, that's my only thing. Because in the promos for WandaVision, you see that everything falls apart eventually. Like, you see that it eventually falls apart. So where do they go from that? And I think that's going to come after we get Doctor Strange 2, Captain Marvel, and whatever else is supposed to be after this. Maybe even the Spider-Man movies. Like, I don't know.
I wonder if they'll tie Deadpool into any of that as well. I mean, I know they've kept him as a separate entity, but
Yeah. Especially now that other things are being rated R, like Winter Soldier, and if they'll put maybe him in there and loop like all R-rated, because then since they now own X-Men, are they going to redo the Wolverine movies? Because Wolverine is very R-rated.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about them redoing Wolverine. Because I feel like there is one and only one.
Well, I think they'll if they do it, I think they'll do it where Logan gets off.
Yeah, I think they're going to just kind of pick up with like, which would make more sense than trying to bring in like a new Wolverine. Like,
which would go into, I forget who said it, but someone said the Young Avengers. That would be
of the X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know, but that person in Logan, I don't want to spoil it for Kaylee, but that person that I think is going to kind of pick up where Logan left off, perfect candidate for them.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, they also had the little girl at the end too. They could always have a different person that has the same powers as Wolverine too. I mean, you never know what they could do, and they can go in any direction, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Christina wants Ant-Man to be brought back in.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel bad that Ant-Man's kind of always is always left out.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
isn't his power source kind of running out? Like, doesn't he need like some thing and they only have like certain limited numbers of them to be able to shrink and grow? And wait, have you not seen that one either?
I just saw the look on her face and she was like, no.
No, I was yawning, but I don't know. Okay, I've just never like.
It's not a spoiler. It's just a character. Like
it's fine.
We're just introducing characters. Like, it's not really a spoiler. It's just
like I said, the only kind of spoiler that I like don't want is like someone who dies. Morgan. No, it's so okay. Like, I literally, and I might have already said this last live, I don't remember. I literally started a show and my best friend was watching it. Well, she actually told me to start watching it. And so she's like, oh, you need to start watching this show. So I started watching it. Literally next episode, she's like, oh, it's like she just ruined the whole thing. Like, the couple got ruined for me because one of them died, ruined the show for me. And I was like, I just started it.
But they can always bring someone back. I mean, they can do prequels. I mean, look at like the Black Widow. Like, they're going to have a prequel of her story, and she, you know, things are different. So I forgot. Kaylee hasn't seen it. Doggone it.
I honestly,
but it's interesting that I'm looking at Kat's comments, and she's talking about like
the
mutant gene. That's interesting if they try to bring the Hex awoke the mutant gene within Monica Rambeau, because wasn't the mutant gene an X-Men concept, not a Marvel Avengers concept?
Yes. As far as
like there was all of the superpowers came from some kind of man-made creation on the Avengers side.
Yeah, that term mutant is associated with, like you said, X-Men.
So if that's where, if the storyline is, well, it was always in her, that's kind of like, it's like the segue to kind of start building in the X-Men characters and the Marvel, like the Avengers, and like kind of merging the two franchises together.
I think
which would
they
make
are
sense
gonna
since
go-
they brought in that Quicksilver guy from the X-Men franchise as
Yeah.
Pietro.
I do think they're going to go that route with the mutant because, well, for me, I felt like they were going to go that route because like Monica could just go into the hex. Like it just like accepted her in a way. Like with some people, like the other people that went into the hex, well, I mean the beekeeper guy did get in. But then like the other ones were like put in when she expanded the force field. So I feel like Monica, like being able to get in though, like when other stuff couldn't get in, that stronger shield, I feel like that's kind of, they're going to play that with the whole mutant thing, like because she had it in her, like she was already kind of able to do it. And no, Kat, I have not seen any of these.
Yes.
I am a new Marvel fan because I didn't think I would really enjoy it. And then I watched WandaVision and loved it. And I've now seen Captain America, Iron Man. And I did watch the first Avengers, like way back when it first came out when I was like 14. So, yeah, I have seen like 3 movies. And then like the OG Spider-Man, I've seen those. I've seen like the X-Men. Haven't seen Logan, but I know it happens. So.
But you still need to watch it because it's an amazing.
I will.
Movie, so
Yeah, that's true.
Joining. I will still watch it. I know I'm giving Morgan a hard time. It's really fine. I was just shook because I was not prepared.
I like perfectly, Kat. You are clearly a Marvel fan.
She's on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think we were talking about who we think the main villain is, because she's kind of been saying a lot in the comments. If you're not looking at the comments, go look at her comments. But she's kind of saying a lot about how this show is supposed to tie into all these other movies, which is why I think, even though I love the show so much, I really don't think there can be a season 2, which is kind of upsetting because it's kind of like you just made a show because you didn't know how to introduce anyone else. But I mean, like, I just wish, I wish there was going to be a season 2, but I really don't know how they're going to go from here if it's just going to lead into all these other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. My question, since we were talking earlier about like, we felt like they wasted some time with WandaVision, like this episode, like they kind of could have cut out some stuff. Like for me, like starting out, I felt like the first 2 episodes were really, really, really slow. So I'm interested for like Morgan and Ajana Claire, who you have seen these previous movies that like I didn't. Like, did you feel like episode 1 and 2 were slow, or did you feel like you were like, okay, like they're doing good, but like there were a lot of little plot bunnies in there, or like little Easter eggs? Like, what did y'all think about it? Because for me, those first 2 episodes, up until the end of episode 2, I was like, these are so slow.
Go ahead.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for me, I don't even know that I would say that they were slow. They felt very random. Like, what was the purpose? Because even kind of looking at it now, like I went back and tried to watch the first couple of episodes again in the context of the whole season so far and the information that we have, and it's just like, I'm still trying to figure out what information did they give us in episodes 1 and 2 that was relevant to any of the other episodes. Like I was thinking like maybe, the boss, is going to come back later and be tied into something, or the boss's wife, Kitty from the 70s show. Like it was just like none of these things are relevant. Like I feel like if you took out episodes 1 and 2 and just started with 3, you could still get to where we are now at 7 and be okay. Like,
I feel like
so maybe someone who's more familiar with the comics, might have a better understanding of the relevance of 1 and 2. But I don't know. Like, I feel like the same way I feel like episode 7, if you cut out the first like 10, 15 minutes, you could, the show is still going to be okay.
I think that honestly, I was like, oh, they released the first 2 episodes. That's weird. Like, I was like, why would they do that? And then I watched the first episode and I was like, well, it's a good thing they released the first 2, because if it were just the first one, I guarantee you not as many people would be watching it as are watching it, because the first episode, I think, was so confusing as to how this sets up anything and was so slow. Like I feel like it was really just meant for if you were Kaylee and you hadn't watched anything and you didn't know who these people were, that makes sense that they had that episode. I
mean, I was so bored. If honestly, like you said though, Morgan, if they wouldn't have released 2 episodes and if I wouldn't have committed to reacting to the series, I would have been like, I started, a lot of people were like, why did you even start it? Like, honestly, because everyone on Instagram was like, this is so amazing. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is a great show. And like, I love Disney. I was like, I'm going to try it. I watched that first episode and I'm like, are people just saying this because it's popular right now? Because this is such a lie. Like, it's not like this mind-blowing episode. Like, you can enjoy the episode, but like saying it was like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Like, I was like, is it really though? Because it wasn't for me.
I think episode 2 definitely made it a lot more interesting. Yeah. But episode 1 by itself, standalone, was definitely not... I think it was kind of a toss away. It was basically, I feel like, to say, here's Wanda. She has powers. And here's Vision. He has powers. And they love each other. And they're together. Yeah. Here you go. But I agree with some of the things people are putting it. Like, why did they bring the boss back if he wasn't going to? Yeah. I think it was mainly to set up, okay, they don't want to show off their magic to other people. No one knows about them. But then later on, everyone ended up knowing about them anyway. So
I really thought it was significant when I watched episode 1. I swear, I was like, this is significant. Because I felt like that scene where the boss was choking and Wanda was like, Vision, like, save him. And, like, use your power to save him. And I felt like that was significant. But I also felt like it was so odd because they just left, like, immediately after that. And I thought it was something like they wanted Vision to use his power. Like, that's what I felt like it was. Like, there was a reason why that occurred. And they wanted Vision to use his power for a certain reason. And that's what I thought seeing that episode. But it's like they don't circle back to anything. You don't see those characters again. So you're like, I don't even, like, that was what episode 1 and 2, we had like these characters that just we never see again.
Yeah. I think, I can't even remember what 2 was about, to be honest.
2 was like, okay, 2 had some significance because that was the episode where they had sent in the little helicopter thing, the little toy helicopter.
Oh,
okay. Found it at the end of 2. But that was the very, very end of 2. Like, that wasn't even, it wasn't like that whole episode.
We also had the beekeeper in 2.
Yeah, the very end of 2, though. Like, that was, and then we got the color back, which I thought was great. But like, yeah, like till the end of 2, like the end of 2 is what got me where I was like, okay, like I'm going to give this show a chance because that did hook me, the end of 2. But like for all of 1 and most of all of 2, like I was like, there just wasn't, there wasn't a lot there. Kat asked, do we think that they're just going to start doing 1 season shows like with Falcon and Winter Soldier? Just have like one-off season shows.
I think so. My theory is they're using these to set up the new phases of the Marvel movies and to use them to introduce the idea of the X-Men franchise and the Marvel franchise being merged. Because I think when we were talking last week, the name Magneto kept coming up.
Yeah.
And isn't he like he's like one of the big bad guys in the X-Men franchise. So if Magneto has anything to do with anything in the Marvel universe, they have to merge the 2 franchises because I've never heard Magneto mentioned in the Marvel universe, but I also haven't read the comics. So it could be a comic book thing where it's not a movie thing.
He is supposedly Pietro's and Wanda's father.
Oh, really?
No.
John was like, no.
No. Yeah, because in the last X-Men, the one that the new Pietro is from, he goes and finds Magneto and joins Magneto because Magneto is his father. However, in the new X-Men movie, Pietro does not have a sister. Wanda's not a thing then. So that's why I think that they're going to put a spin on it. And I've kind of like thought about this, that they were introducing Pietro, or this person, Quicksilver, as Pietro. But really, I think it's whoever behind this just found him and said, oh, he has the same powers. We're going to play him as Pietro to trick Wanda. And then that's going to help set up the rest of the X-Men. So I don't think they're going to do the spin that Magneto is Wanda's father, but Quicksilver's. I think they'll stay with that.
But
they could do it in the sense that he didn't have a sister because he didn't know he had a sister. Kind of a whole Luke and Leia thing, where you meet Leia, but you have no idea she has any connection to Luke.
He doesn't go by Pietro, though.
What was that?
The Quicksilver from X-Men doesn't go by Pietro. He has a different name. I forget what it is, but it's not Pietro.
But if they were raised separately, then
I know
they could really explain that, because like her twin, so the brother who died wasn't really her real brother. It was some other brother, and she was raised by. Because if Magneto was her father, clearly the parents she was raised with weren't her parents, right? Like,
but that's how it is in the comic. In one version of the comics, Magneto's her father. In another version, Quicksilver's his own entity. Wanda's her own entity. They never really mix, and so
it's going to be interesting how they actually bring these storylines together.
Well, and if they are all alluding to something in the future, I'm curious to see how the Loki series is going to play out, because from what I've heard, the Loki series, Tom Hiddleston's only going to be in a few episodes because it's mainly a flashback story of him as a young child or younger person. So I don't know how they're going to tie that into everything. So
is he going to be like a kid or like a teenager?
I don't know. I just heard that it's like more of a flashback series where he's young. It's a younger version. It's obviously won't be him in it because it's him as a kid or whatever. So preteen, teen.
I heard he's like a teenager. I don't know about a kid. I'm over here just kidding. I'm sorry.
Did we see the YouTuber's comment where he said he's still wondering, or the YouTuber is still wondering about Dottie in episode 2? That's a good point. Like, Dottie had this whole like revelation that Wanda was off, right? Like she was kind of the one who first exposed Wanda for being something other than just a suburban housewife. And then, you know, she just made her comment about getting the blood out of her dress and just went on about her life.
The socialite of the town.
So look, I know her as Anya from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I have this thing where if I know someone from another show, don't know what their name is in the show, she's Anya. Like, that's what I know her as. So, like, that I have, like, a mental block on what their real name is. So, I'm sorry. I was like, who's Dottie?
I was thinking the same thing until she started explaining who she was. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
But she was in this last episode. They showed her. They flashed her when I forgot what was happening. It was like
they
this
came out and they were arguing.
Yeah, it was that scene, and everybody, you know, the mailman was like walking by and he was looking. So she was there in that scene. That was like the only time we've seen her since that episode. So weird. Oh, we have a new person. Hey, Devontae.
Hi. Yes. So she says in the comics they are twins. In the movies, it's not like
that's whatever.
they're probably just siblings.
Yeah.
I missed one of April's comments. I want to go back really quick. April says, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier will be more than one season. I think I've heard Loki will be more than one as well. And I don't know though. I just hope they don't do like a kid Loki. But I mean, they can do great with it, because I typically don't like really young kids. I know, but like on shows, like I just find them like their whole like some people can like pull it off. Like there's some shows where they can pull it off, but like a lot of times, like I like them to be a little older because it feels just. You know,
I can't see it being too young, especially with a Marvel movie. I mean, it's probably going to be like a teenager or early 20s or something. You know, I don't know. I'm guessing.
I don't know. Did you see Logan?
I did. I have it. I
That
own
was
it.
pretty disturbing.
I also was I'm hoping these are more than one series because I was really excited for WandaVision, and to find out that it's going the way it's going and it's probably not going to have a second season is really disappointing. So if they don't do all of these like as actual, because I thought they would be like The Mandalorian that has multiple seasons, like what if, and this was going to be like a what if Vision never died scenario, not that he is still dead and all this other stuff. But my question is then, if they are only running these for one season, why make it a TV show and why not just make it a movie?
Mhm.
Like they could have put if they're not going to have a second season of WandaVision, they just could have put all this in a movie and called it.
I don't know. Can you imagine a movie with 5 decades in one?
Be pretty confusing.
I think it works better as a show, even if it is only one season. And I'm okay with it being one season if it's like setting up like future stuff, like future movies and stuff. But yeah, I don't know about one movie. Like that would be a lot.
That would, but like if they're gonna do all these as one season, that's what I mean. Like, why not just put in a movie then?
Well, I like TV shows though too, because like I feel like you get more, I guess. Like sometimes you just need a TV series, but I get, like you say, like if it's just one season, like there are some like, okay, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like The Haunting of Hill House or The Haunting of Bly Manor, like those, like they're TV shows, and like you could argue like they would be good as a movie because it's just like each season's like an anthology. Hi, Zoel. Hi, welcome to the chat, Zoel.
Say hi. Oh, she just woke up from a nap.
Yeah, but you could argue with those, like they're just one season. Like season 1's like about one family, and season 2's about a completely different family. So, but like you get so much more when it's a TV show. So
April had a good point though about potentially why they made these into series, to get more people to subscribe to us so that you can watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've heard Disney Plus broke like a record for subscriptions.
Yeah.
In streaming services.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they're just coming out, like they released, that statement saying they were coming out with all this new stuff. So, I mean,
Rick Riordan, author of The Lightning Thief and the whole Percy Jackson series, apparently they're in development with a TV series for Disney Plus as well.
Wow.
So,
Percy Jackson?
Yeah, for a Percy Jackson series.
That's gonna be so awesome. Like I grew up, and I love like Percy Jackson. I was a big reader growing up, and another TV show, it's not on Disney Plus, but I was thinking of, and I didn't mention it because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be such a nerd. But I grew up reading Series of Unfortunate Events, and they just they try to do movies with it, and it just did not do.
Yeah,
they couldn't do it, and they did the TV show, and they actually had the person who was the writer of the books on it, and Rick Riordan, if he was on it, it's so amazing because you get so many, when you do TV shows, you can get so many details of the books in that you cannot get in a movie.
Yeah,
you have more, you just have more to more leeway.
Yeah.
Hey Kaylee, I'm gonna hop off.
Okay.
So it was fun. Nice to meet you, Morgan.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
This was fun, but I'll talk to you soon.
I know. I appreciate you hopping on after your other live.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. I'll see you guys. Bye.
Sorry. Okay. So I think Ajana and Claire had to help Zoel for a second, but she will probably be back. So Devontae says, Wanda has different stories that she is prominent in, but the stories need different setups. Comics are complicated coming from a collector. Yeah. I think a lot of comics, I haven't read any in the Marvel universe. I've read some of the, I've read comics before, but yeah, I know they're depending on the series, sometimes it's a different storyline, different setup, and like that. So it's kind of hard to decide how they're going to take it, even for people who are collecting. She also asked, have I started the movies yet? So yes, I have seen now Captain America, which my reaction to that I posted yesterday. And then I've also seen Iron Man, but that reaction is not edited because I am the slowest editor known to man. So I've seen 2. And like I said, I saw the first Avengers when I was like 14. So, Kat says she agrees with Devontae. There are so many storylines, different timelines, everything, even reading all my comics 1,000 times. I still have to reread them to remember stuff. Yeah, it gets really confusing. Also, Kat, I meant to mention this to you earlier because I think we put the comment up there and I didn't even mention it. You said that you love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think is what you were meaning to say there. Yeah, and I do too. And those are actually some of the comics I read was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And the TV show is awesome. If you have not seen that show, it's awesome.
Yeah, and going back to Devontae's comment, I have read like one version of the Wanda comics. And it was when she was like, it was the Scarlet Witch series, I think. So she wasn't like involved with Vision in those, I don't think, in the ones I read at least. But I was a big X-Men person. And so Wanda in the X-Men ones I read wasn't as big a character as like Quicksilver was, because I read the ones where Quicksilver was just kind of a henchman for Magneto, and I never branched off of that. So those are the like what I remember the most. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think from what I gather from like seeing the series of the comic books, and also, like I said, from my little bit of experience with other comic books, like, you know, you have like a series where like there's main characters for that one series, and you may have other characters that come in like side characters for that series, and then they'll have their own series where it's like you'll have like your own Spider-Man series, but then like Spider-Man can be in other series and just not be the main person.
Yeah.
So.
And that I focus mainly on Wolverine. That was my favorite person. So I've read most of the Wolverine comics, which is kind of going into also what like you're saying, like there are so many different, what Kat was saying, there's so many different setups. Because I think in one setup of Wolverine, he was just born with the metal bones. And then in another, he was given the metal bones. And like, there's just so many different ways to set up the comics and so many different multiverses. But yeah.
Yeah. I think Kat's comment is still talking about Buffy. And if so, yes, I agree. Because I do really like the Buffy comics. I keep saying comics, if I can articulate. I do like the Buffy comics because they have some really good storylines. And sometimes I like the comic storylines better than what they actually put on screen. But yeah, I also read some of the Walking Dead ones when I used to watch Walking Dead, which is, it's been a hot minute since I've done that. Christina also really loves X-Men. I do too. X-Men is probably what got me into not Marvel, got me into superheroes. Because I watched X-Men growing up and I loved Wolverine. Like he was my favorite one. So I really enjoyed that. Kat, this is also going to become a Buffy chat slightly. I tried to get my 17-year-old into Buffy, Angel, and Firefly, but he didn't like it. I've actually not seen Firefly. I know I've heard of it. I did watch Angel. I like Buffy better than Angel personally. But yeah, it's good. I stumbled across it like really randomly. I watched one of the episodes. It was a horrible episode to start on. And I was like, oh, what is this show? And I don't like horror at all. And it was like, if you remember this episode, Kat, it was the one where there was like a fish person and they were like, I don't know. I remember it ate the lunch lady or something. And it was so disgusting and like creepy. It was one of the creepiest episodes of Buffy in my mind. And that was the one I started with. And I somehow kept going.
Yes, Christina.
I also love Charmed. Now, not to get too off topic, but I haven't seen the new Charmed because I'm really like when I have an OG series I love so much, I'm really sketched about like starting new ones. And I like I was open to it, but then I was like, I saw some of the series like reviews and they were like, eh. So if you've seen it, let me know how the new one is. But I do love Charmed a lot. I have X-Men all the way through 80s to 2000s. After that, just different runs. She has 3 long boxes, so I just read great runs. Thor may be awesome if they stick to the story. Okay. Are they having, okay, so they're having the Love and Thunder one, right?
Yeah. So I think that's supposed to be the next in the Thor series. But as we've discussed earlier, I don't like Thor very much.
Yeah. Well, Allie, who was on earlier, Thor is like one of her favorites. And
yeah,
I like Thor from what I've seen him in Avengers. I loved the Thor and Loki dynamic from what I've seen of it. That's really interesting because I love like stories that have good dynamics, like brother dynamics, romance dynamics. I'm very into that kind of thing. That's really what gets me into like shows and stuff. Yes, Cat is called Go Fish. That was the name of the episode. Ugh. Hated it. Christina says the new Charmed isn't too bad. Okay, I might eventually give it a chance if I like can ever get my life together. I'm still trying to get through these like I'm committed to Marvel at this point, and I'm trying to make it work. Yeah. But OG Charmed was the best. One of the few series I'm really good at predicting couples that like are in game. One of the few series where I didn't do that for one of the couples, and it broke my heart. Okay, Devontae likes Jane Foster in Thor, which I think is kind of a controversial opinion because Morgan doesn't like Jane. I don't know enough. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I like, to be fair, I didn't give her. She was only in the first 2, and I don't like those movies very much. But I also
like the one to ask, probably actually, because she likes Thor.
Yeah, Allie would be the one to ask because I don't like Thor. I like him now. I like him a lot more now. So if they put out like a new, like I think he's supposed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that's supposed to be coming out whenever. I'll watch him in that, and that'll be super interesting.
Oh, wait, you're
muted.
It'll be interesting to have Thor and Peter Quill in a movie together side by side for like the whole movie, like because they have very similar personalities. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic.
But I like, and I know I said this earlier, how I hate like people that are full of themselves. Yeah, I love him. I love Peter Quill. He is like one of my favorite people.
Kat is saying that Jane is better in the comics. So, and Devontae said she's a comic book reader. So that probably makes, and I feel like too,
that makes sense.
If you watch the movies after reading the comic books, like you still love that character. Like if you love that character from the comic books, you're gonna like be more likely to love him in the movie because you know the character. You're like, oh, you know, like you have this familiarity with it, versus like that being your first time seeing the character. Yeah. April said, all I heard was in Thor's voice, Jane is better.
So, how many Iron Man movies have you watched?
Okay, I saw 2. I actually did finish. Did I finish 2? Did I get halfway through? I can't remember if I completely finished 2. I kept trying to finish 2, and I kept getting interrupted. So, I think I finished 2 though, because I'm pretty positive I finished 2.
Okay, so you haven't watched 3. So I'm gonna save that last opinion for another day.
Okay, yeah, and I don't know, like I'm still waiting to dislike him. I know April. I'm sorry. You were in the comments. I'm calling the comments. Okay, Kaylee just needs to go to bed. I messed up the comments last week, and I kept calling Morgan April, and I just did it again. Sorry. Oh gosh, an Age of Ultron reference. April said. comic book movie changes the stories from comics usually, so it's okay to not read the comics. The movies are adaptations with a little twist, except they keep the personality traits of the characters. Yeah. I think pretty much every single series I've ever seen or like heard of that has comics, like you can read the comics, and I think they add so much to the experience if you do love those characters. But also, like, I don't feel like it's not necessary. Like, you don't have to read them to understand them.
Yeah.
So, and I will say this much about Disney and Marvel is that I do basically understand what's going on in WandaVision without seeing everything. I missed some of the little references, but I think watching Legends really helped me. Which some of my reactions to those Legends episodes were really funny. I didn't post them, and I'm probably not going to post them because, like, I'm going to watch those movies anyways. And honestly, I'm probably going to forget. Because I'm like, when I don't see something for a while, I forget what happened. And I like watch it again. It's like watching it for the first time. So I'm not really going to worry about posting that. But I had some interesting reactions. Devontae asked, have I seen Black Widow yet? Do they have that? Is the movie out yet for her?
Is there a Black Widow movie?
There's a Black Widow movie coming out, which is supposed to be a prequel, but they pushed it back to October, I want to say.
Yeah. I don't think it's out yet, but have I seen the character at all? Yes. I saw her in Avengers, the first Avengers, and I loved her. Oh, and I also saw her in Iron Man. She was in Iron Man.
That's how she's introduced in Iron Man.
Yeah, she's introduced in Iron Man. So I saw her in that, and I also saw her in Avengers and really liked her. Which is funny. I liked her better in Avengers, and that was where I first saw her. So I probably wouldn't have liked her as much if I just went off of Iron Man.
Oh, she asked in Iron Man 2, have you seen her in Iron Man 2?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I liked her. It was just like they had like a weird intro for her in Iron Man. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Same for DC Comics. I think it's like that for pretty much all comics. Like they just kind of like Walking Dead was one where they really stayed close because I have experience with those comics. And they stayed like, I mean, I used to know kind of what was coming up because they stayed pretty close to those comics for a long time. But they would change some things. Yeah, I think she meant that she makes an appearance in Iron Man, and I've seen her in Iron Man. I am looking forward to that movie though, because I do like that character.
And that one you wouldn't have had to see anything in.
No. Well, I'm real though too. I was spoiled about what happened to her in Endgame.
Yeah.
Infinity Wars.
Infinity Wars.
I just know what happens to her. It's not sure.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty cool.
I like Iron Man. Those movies are. I mean,
well, I am interested what's going to happen with the Falcon. Like now that Iron Man is gone, just because his suit comes from Tony Stark. Like, who's gonna like keep up the technology now?
Wait, the Falcon? No,
not the Falcon.
Wait, is the Falcon his friend?
No, not the Falcon. Not the Falcon. War Machine.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't know what happens to him. Yeah.
Well, I know what happens to Iron Man because I got spoiled on that one too.
No. War Machine.
I don't even know who War Machine is. we're okay.
Which Tony Stark friend are you still? You're still with the Terrence Howard friend, right? Terrence Howard.
Says I was right. It is Endgame.
Oh, it is Endgame.
I've never even seen it.
Wait, so you're still with who's his friend in the movies that you've seen? Is Terrence Howard still his friend, or has Terrence Howard been?
He was only his friend in the first one, I think.
It was just the first one, right? And then they recast him. And then I was like the best decision ever. I just want to say, like,
really, I like the other guy a lot better.
You like Terrence Howard? I don't know. Like, I feel like Terrence Howard, just like my personal, like watching like the movies that he's played in, he just doesn't seem like a superhero type character.
But didn't he die, and that's why they recasted him?
Did he die?
Like in real life?
No.
After died.
I don't think he died.
What's his
I
name?
thought I read that's why they had to recast him, or he went to jail or something happened.
Well, he's alive in real life, so he definitely didn't die in real life. I
don't know what it was, but he died or he went to jail or something.
I thought it was a money.
That's a lot of reasons why they recast people, is because either they cost too much money, or they die, or something. Or
yeah, I think he wanted more money. I read something because I had to understand, because it was like a big recast. It was like when they went from like the first Aunt Viv and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to the second Aunt Viv. Like they're not even, or the first wife in Family Matters to the second one. Like they're not even like they don't resemble each other.
Or like a more recent one, The Fosters, where they went from JT Austin to some other random guy, and it was already like 3 seasons into the series, and they just said, "Oh, he got in a car accident, so now he looks completely different."
Yeah, I'm like, when they recast people that are like just completely different. So, but personality wise, like I don't know that I could handle all of these movies.
Oh yes, that is
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, that is what it was. I must be thinking of a different movie, because I always look up when things like that happen. Like, why did
How could Terrence Howard want to be paid as much as Tony Stark? Like, you're a sidekick. Like, you weren't even like a big part of this.
Yeah, I know, but
I think Don Cheadle made a much better War Machine. So.
Wait, so
that goes back. Yeah. So, but my original question was, what's going to happen to War Machine now that we know Iron Man is gone? Because he was the one who created the technology for there to even be a War Machine. So that's going to be interesting.
And I wonder if his daughter will be something moving forward.
You're lucky I knew that.
Oh, Kaylee didn't know he had that.
Oh, I knew. But I knew that because that was a spoiler.
I don't know how you cannot know.
Okay, I'll tell you why I know. Because I've been trying to be so good because I don't want to know everything.
It's on all the merch. Like the line that he says to her is on all the merch. I love you 3000.
Oh yeah, well,
but that doesn't necessarily mean his daughter though, because like I didn't know until I saw it.
Well,
because like I said, I saw the last 15 minutes of Endgame, and I'm like, I see all of these characters, and I see that Tony Stark is dead, and I see that he has a daughter. I'm like, I have to go back to the beginning to understand how we got to this ending.
Yeah. Really quickly, let's say bye to April. She might have already left.
Bye, April.
Bye, April. Thank you for coming. My hand's on the screen. What was I gonna say really quickly? Oh, yeah. Well, because moment of truth. I had to watch all of the Tony and Pepper scenes because I have no self-control. But that's the tea right there. And someone did.
But you watch all the Tony Pepper scenes from like the future movies too? Oh, so you know what he does for her and everything?
I know.
Because I'm asking because the last time you said you watched all of something, Morgan said something in reference to the all, and then you were like, "What? That's a spoiler."
Okay, I don't know what this is in reference of though. But yes, okay. To my knowledge, if this YouTuber did their job, if they did their job, but yeah, I had to. Because I can't not know. I can't not know. So anyways, I'm going to be slow as molasses getting these movies out. But that was the one thing I was like, I will let myself be spoiled on that because I already knew he died. And I was like, it's whatever. And I felt like I did know he had a kid. So I was like, it's fine. I mean, there's really not a lot spoilery in those scenes anyways. But yes, hang on really quickly. I wanted to say.
I like that his daughter shares my name.
Yes, she does. Okay, let's see. Are you watching in any order, release or chronological? So I want to come back to this comment because I don't know which order I'm going to follow because I keep hearing different things.
You should watch the order I posted on my video.
Okay.
It was like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And then it was like a certain order within each phase. I felt like that was the easiest to follow.
Yeah, because I thought it would be the best. Okay, I thought it would be the best to do chronological, but then someone commented when I said that on my Captain America movie review or reaction, they said that they thought it would confuse me because of the end scenes being spoilery, which, I mean, to me, if it's just the end scenes, if it's just like the little, preview, I'm not too worried about it because I guess I could just not watch that one part. Like, if it's just the one part, then I don't mind that. But I don't know. So I'd be interested to hear anyone's input on this because I've heard different things. It was funny. The person who commented, one of the people who commented, but at the end they're all like, "But you can watch it however you want." Like, thank you. She's like, "You really need to watch it this way, but you can watch it however you want." I was like, I appreciate that. That was nice.
Yeah, I think you should watch it in the phase 1, phase 2, phase. That's how because I watched them as they came out, and then it was like really confusing for like ones that you needed like before, because technically Avengers came out first and then Captain Marvel came out, the first Avenger came out. So like having that backstory of him would have been really helpful in my opinion. But so I think you should watch it in the order that they technically tell the story, not in the order that they came out.
So Kat, her thought is that I should watch this order right meow.
But Kat, you're forgetting like Ant-Man in there. She needs to know about Ant-Man. She needs to know about Guardians of the Galaxy before she gets to Infinity War, because then that's gonna be like, who the heck are these people?
And you have to watch to the end to get the little nugget scenes, because those little nugget scenes are always like, oh man, oh shoot, like they're little tiny moments of like clarity.
The only thing I feel like you don't have to watch is the original Hulk that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, okay. So with referring to Kat's comment really quickly, I have gotten this comment before from people, especially people who were frustrated with me watching WandaVision. And they were like, just go watch all the Avengers right now and just know. And I was like, and this was before I knew what happened to Vision, mind you.
Oh, that's a whole different order, Kat.
That's just the Avengers films. And
that's just Avengers. And I've heard that, like I said, I've been told that by like two commenters, 3 commenters. And I don't know. I just feel really weird doing that. Like, I trust Kat's opinion very highly because Kat knows what she's talking about. So I take this with very, very high regard, and I will definitely consider this order. But it just, I don't know, with me being the way I am, I feel really weird just doing all the Avengers then going back. Like, it just feels weird to me.
That's the quickest way to get like all the information you need. Yeah. However, in my opinion, if you don't watch like Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to be super confused about who Thanos is, why certain things happen in Infinity War that happen, and why like certain characters are there and who they are. As someone, because my mom watched none of these films and she just watched the event. She watched Infinity, like she watched a few of them, but she watched the Avengers with me, and the whole entire movie, all she was asking me, "Who's that? Why do they matter? Who is this person? Like what?" And I'm like, "Mom, just watch." But
yeah. I feel like either way, I'm not going to win because no matter what order I watch it in, I'm going to get comments that are going to be like, you should have watched such and such this way. So, I mean, and it's fine. I really don't care. Like, I'm cool with any comments like that. And it don't bother me because it feels like you should watch it a certain way. And I'm never going to watch it the right way to please everyone. So because people, to me, like, there's some people who literally were like, I'm not watching you at all because you didn't watch anything before WandaVision. That's fair because, like, I really don't know what's, it's a fair assumption if that's not what you're wanting. But Kat,
Ant-Man, and when he's introduced in Civil War, she's like, who is this? And I'm like, shh, just do it. She's like, why is he important? What is he about? And I'm like, Mom, just shh.
But Kat said that those were the best ones and the rest are fillers. Do y'all agree? Do y'all think the rest are fillers? Or I don't know if I'd say filler. I feel weird going against Kat's comments though, because Kat, I'm like, I respect you so highly with these.
I feel like the Marvel universe of the movies, it's your own personal experience. Like everybody's going to watch it a different way. Everybody's going to take away from it something different. Like for me, it was about the journey. So I wasn't, in a rush to see all of the movies, and but I was binging them because I literally saw like the last 15 or 20 minutes of Iron Man. So when I started watching, I was watching to understand how we got to the ending. So I was looking at it very differently than somebody who's just watching it to just like kind of see what the movies are.
So, Ajana Claire, did you watch like all the ones that she doesn't have listed there? Like, did you watch like Ant-Man and Guardians? And
yeah, so I watched it in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 order. Okay. So I started with like the first Iron Man, and then like the Hulk, and then Captain America, and then the second Iron Man. So I kind of watched it in that order. So the only ones I haven't seen, like I said, were the Spider-Man movies that were in those phases, just because I'm not paying to watch Spider-Man.
I haven't watched the second Spider-Man, which I think might be a little bit of a letdown, but that was also slightly because of like COVID and everything. Because didn't it come out in July or 2 Julys ago or something like that?
Devontae's like, just stick to the release. We're definitely not trying to make it difficult for you, Keely.
Just stick to the originals. And I
think if you want to know about WandaVision and like their whole story, then, and Kat, I don't know if that's what you're meaning. Like if she wants to understand all about WandaVision, to watch those ones, because those are the only ones that Wanda and Vision are in. They're not in Guardians of the Galaxy or anything like that. But I feel like to understand Infinity War and Endgame, since it brings every single character in, you're gonna need to watch those side ones to understand, especially with the whole Thanos thing.
Yeah,
you gotta watch Guardians of the Galaxy because they're the ones that explain everything about Thanos.
I think really between the commenters I've gotten that didn't really spoil it for me, but told me like, Darcy's from Thor and like just little nuggets of things that I needed. Between that and Legends, I think I'm okay with WandaVision being 2 more episodes to make it through. Now, I'm not going to start watching Winter Soldier and Falcon before I see at least like enough, I guess, because I really don't want to go into another series not seeing the prior stuff. Because I feel like this series, it worked and it was fine, but I don't know about, I feel like there's so much going into that one that I just would not.
You don't watch Endgame and you watch Winter Soldier and Falcon, you're going to be in for some shocks.
I'm not doing it. I hate it because I love watching it with people. Like, I love watching it like around when it releases, but it's just not like, it's not worth like, I can't get all the stuff watched by then, and then it's just not worth it. Okay, so the YouTuber suggests that I watch in phases, which is what Morgan suggested, and also a Jonathan. You both kind of just suggested go into phases. And then Devontae says, I'm one of the people that said go watch the movies and said they average 1 billion there. And I do remember you commenting that. And I really do appreciate commenters who say that. And I agree that it helps. But I didn't know going in. And I appreciate you still being nice and sticking around and supporting me because I was very clueless. Christina says, forget it all and go watch the new Charmed.
I can't watch the new Charmed. Like I can't even like. I feel disloyal to the old Charmed. Like
that's what I said. I was like, I feel like I wanted to watch it because it looked good, but it's also like I loved the old Charmed so much. It's like
why couldn't they just come up with a whole new show? Why did it have to be a new Charmed? Like do a whole new show.
That's what I said.
Everything doesn't need to be a remake of something else. Just call it a new show.
There was, I'm really weird. Like Pete's Dragon. Oh, I still haven't seen the remake. I just can't. Like, if I loved the original, like, I can't.
I never saw the original. I saw the new one and I loved it.
The original is just so sweet, and it has like really good songs. It was good. I loved it growing up. And then also,
we get off topic. So
I was gonna say, I feel like this is important. Anyone who's ever seen the movie Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, they redid that with Anna Faris, and I was like, I'm not doing it. Like, why? And they role reverse. Ugh, I couldn't do it.
It was funny though. I actually liked it.
So yeah, we do get very off. Kat said yes to understand WandaVision only. I agree. Yeah. I think if I like really just was like, I need to understand WandaVision, those are the ones to just focus on. But Disney loves their remakes, and I definitely agree with this. They sure do. The live action remakes, which me and Morgan, if you guys have not seen this, me and Morgan actually did a reaction video to the live action remake of Mulan, and I liked it way better than I thought I was gonna like it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
So did I, but there's a lot of people.
Jonathan, is that what you said?
I loved it. Like, I feel like if people didn't see, like, if there was no original cartoon version and people just saw like this version of the movie, it's a good movie.
Or if they named it something different, like if they didn't play it off as this is going to be the live action Mulan, if they had played it off as like, we are telling a different story about Mulan, I think people would have accepted it a lot more than they did, because I feel like they heard that there's no Mushu and there's no singing, that they were like, oh.
Yeah, they just kind of, it's like when you hear remake for Disney movies, people just want Disney to take the cartoon, stick it into human flesh form, and then, you know, it's kind of like The Lion King was very on track with the original cartoon Lion King.
Beauty and the Beast too. Very
Yeah. Now, Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I know we're saying, like, we literally just got done saying, like, I hate, like, when they make remakes and I refuse to watch them. And I am that way with certain, like, if it's really nostalgic to me, like, and if I see the promo and the promo is just not hitting it, I'm like, no. And it's like Overboard was one, like, I know Devontae said, don't see the new Overboard, yuck. Like the ones where they literally follow the
I liked it.
You liked it? Oh. Have you seen the original?
Yes, like Kurt Russell. I love that one too.
Or like,
I
okay.
mean, if I had to choose, like if somebody was like gun to your head, choose Overboard, the original Overboard, the Anna Faris version. Clearly, I'm going with the original.
Yeah.
But
no, I've seen the original one so many. I have it on DVD. I've seen it that many times. I love that movie, like with a deep passion in my soul. And I saw that, and I'm not the biggest Anna Faris fan, to be completely honest. So I was like, oh, I can't do it. I just can't. But
I mean, how can you not love the House Bunny and Hot Chick?
Oh, I was going to say really quickly, though, we're off topic about Beauty and the Beast, the remake. I really felt bad because people, like, when he turned back into, like, I think, what is his name? Adam? Is that
Adam?
Yeah. So when he turned into, like, the Prince version, everyone was like, oh, he's so ugly. I was like, he's not even that ugly. Like, and they were they really hated the actor. And every person I talked to about it, they're like, oh, it was a good movie, but, like, I hated that Adam guy. And I'm like, what?
In my opinion, that means you never watched the beginning, that you never watched Beauty and the Beast to the end, because he really does look like Adam. And Adam had the long hair. He wasn't like, I gotta be honest, I don't like I'm a big Beauty and the Beast fan. If you watch my channel, you know this, but I'm a huge Beauty and the Beast fan, and I hate Beast Adam in his human form, because I do think he's not the most attractive man. And even in character form, like animated form, he's not the most attractive. Yeah. But I think he does look almost exactly like, if you were to take him and make him human, like in human form, he looks exactly like him.
He's not like a Disney prince, like drop dead gorgeous guy, but I mean, he's not ugly by any means. Kat said, if we wanted to do a weekly watch and review, I would do that, like set up an order and watch a new one each week and then talk about it. So I actually, my plan was to do, like, on Friday, do a show about, like, whatever movie I watched, and then on Saturday do a show. And I may eventually once WandaVision is over, I'll probably keep doing this show and just talk about the movie I've watched, and have people on. Actually, Morgan and Ajana Claire, we all had talked about it, and a few other people were planning on finale night to do a live reaction together to WandaVision, and I'll talk about it because we have, like, a little group chat, and we've all been, like, talking about this show and loving it.
So it's Friday at 8 o'clock, right?
It's Christina's.
Yeah. Well, it's not this Friday, but not this upcoming one, but the next.
So finale Friday.
Yes, finale Friday. Morgan, we can no longer be friends. Morgan is just making enemies every single day.
Christina, you say that every time that I have a different opinion than you, and we are still friends. So I don't believe you anymore.
I mean, if we're talking about Disney character reveals, though, when Mando took his helmet off, I was like a little disappointed. Like, am I the only one who was a little disappointed?
Well,
like, you hear this voice, right?
whole
And it's the
thing.
voice, and you're just like, Mando's voice is like everything, right? Like it's. And then when he took his helmet off, and I was just like,
Do you know why they even made him do that? Because I saw the Mandalorian behind the scenes thing, so I knew what he looked like already, and I agree.
oh,
Very disappointed. But they did that because he said, if I don't get more FaceTime, I'm not doing this.
but he shouldn't have done that because he kind of ruined it a little bit for me. You ruined the experience. It was kind of like I was with your voice, and then I saw your face, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
Ruined it.
But I heard that someone else was there's two Mandos. They're like, he's not the Mando that you see walking around in the armor all the time.
I mean, they should have just totally Milli Vanilli the Mando. Like when he took off his helmet, it should have been like Fabio or something. Like, I mean, it just needed to be like a great reveal. Like that voice with his face was just like.
Okay, really quickly, Christina did agree that he was disappointing. Really quickly, going back to our other comments real quick that I just wanted to point out. Devontae said, live action Mulan was a good one, and I liked the cartoon, but people were mad about the $30, which they were rightfully so mad because that was ridiculous.
With Raya and the Last Dragon, they're doing the same thing, and I'm so angry because
it's ridiculous.
I want to watch that.
It was free. You just had to wait. I don't know. Like, I don't mind paying for the privilege of something first.
But $30? I mean, maybe.
I mean, if you had to go to the movies to see it for like my family of 4, that was like a steal. I mean, if you're a single person going by it yourself to the movies, maybe $30 is a lot.
I'm one person, so like that's a good chunk of money right there.
Yeah. No, I'll just wait.
Kat said, I like the new Mulan for what it was, but my cat Mushu was not a me.
If you watch my Mulan, I do mention that I did miss Mushu. He was a great comic relief.
Yeah, I missed him a little bit, but like my 2 catch-ups with that movie was I was worried about Mushu because I love Mushu, but I was also so worried because I'm a big romance girl. I love me my couples, and they were telling me the couple was different, and I was like, or they made it. Everyone I talked to made it sound like, oh, like he's not in this movie, and they're not going to have a couple. And then they did still have romance, and I was really happy. So I was like, it's fine. Like,
I wanted them to kiss so bad.
I did too, girl. I did too. And I thought he was gonna like come at the end, like he did in the animated, and he didn't.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah. Christina says, I hated the Lion King remake. I actually haven't seen it yet. But I mean, I wasn't expecting a lot.
Christina.
Y'all can't be friends anymore. She says she loves the Beauty and the Beast remake, but hated Emma Watson. Gaston and LeFou were everything. I agree. Gaston and LeFou he was hilarious.
I did not, and I'm glad that I didn't find this out till after. I'm like not a big like name dropping person, so you could tell me that someone voices an anime character, and I could not know who the heck they are for years. So I didn't know that. Is his name Josh Gad?
That played
Josh
Olaf.
Gad. I didn't know he was Olaf until after I watched the new movies, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's Olaf! Like you know who he is." And I was like, and now that I rewatch it, I can't unhear it.
Yeah.
And so but I'm glad when I first watched it, I didn't know that because it made it a lot better. But if I had known that, like now I go back and I'm like, it's not as good.
It didn't really ruin it for me. I thought he was hilarious. Did you ever see Glee, Morgan?
No.
Okay. Well, Kristoff, the voice actor of Kristoff and the voice actor of Elsa, both were in Glee.
I knew Elsa. Wait, Elsa? Isn't she
Idina Menzel?
She was in Glee?
She was I think it was season 1 and 2. She was the coach of like the rival show choir. And Kristoff, who is Jonathan Groff, I think is what his name is, he was actually one of her students, like that she coached.
Oh, because I knew Idina Menzel from Wicked.
That man, oh my gosh, like obsessed, like beautiful human, love him, love it. Like I just,
yeah, he was like King George in Hamilton, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I knew Idina Menzel from Hamilton, or not.
Michael Jackson in the
from
chat.
Wicked. From Wicked.
From Wicked, yeah.
Yeah.
The YouTuber says HBO Max didn't do the $30 premium for Wonder Woman 1984.
I heard Wonder Woman was not that great, so.
Well, it's a good thing my friend that popped on last week, he's obsessed with Wonder Woman, and those would be fighting words, Morgan. He would be like
that new movie, I heard it wasn't as good as like a lot of people, from what I've heard. I don't watch I'm not a DC person. I don't like the DC but I heard that the new Wonder Woman was nowhere near the caliber of the previous one.
No, Devontae says she wouldn't have paid $5 for it.
See, and I know someone that literally bought HBO Max just to watch that movie. They wasted their money.
My friend Tyne, I kid you not, he did. Because he was like, should I get HBO Max right now? And I was like, no. And he was like, I'm doing it, because he watched it. I don't know how many times. He didn't say it was terrible. So. The
only reason I would buy HBO Max is to watch Friends, and I pay for cable, so TBS, I can watch it there.
I have like a free 2-week trial because of a FabFitFun box, and I'm trying to rewatch Pretty Little Liars because I've been wanting to watch it for so long. So I'm doing that. But let me tell you, their interface is not good, or at least on my computer, because I swear I get the little bubbles, like floating bubbles, all the time, and it drives me crazy. And my favorite interface is Netflix. Disney Plus, sometimes. Like they're not bad. They stress me because like when I go to pause, it knocks me out sometimes.
Yeah.
I hate that. Oh, Michael Jackson, you guys, he rose from the dead to join. Sup, man? You rose from the dead. We feel so honored. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Okay, so Perfectly Cat. I liked Beauty and the Beast. This is my favorite because I played the wardrobe at Community Playhouse, and the songs are ingrained in my brain. Oh,
that's so sweet.
Cat,
have you done a video about that on your channel?
That was a good video. Like for real good. So Christina says she didn't like the new Wonder Woman either, and the YouTuber says the first Wonder Woman movie was way better than the second. I haven't seen any of them. Shocker. But like I said, one of my best friends is obsessed. I think he just thinks she's hot and wants to marry her.
Is the first one, like I'm with you on Wonder Woman though, Kaylee. I don't think I've seen the old one either, or the new one.
I haven't seen any of them. I just don't like DC comics in general. Like I was a big Batman fan for like a hot second, and then I don't like, and it was the same thing with Spider-Man too. I don't know if it's just because of who puts them out, but not Tobey Maguire. Wait, is Tobey Maguire the first Spider-Man? Is that his name? The very first person to ever play Spider-Man that played him for
Spider-Man. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking
I think that was Tobey Maguire.
Right.
Hate him. Absolutely hate that Spider-Man. Loved Andrew Garfield and loved Tom Holland. But I absolutely hate it. Yeah, it was just too. Again, it was just something about him. It annoyed me. And
I don't know. Like the last
Spider-Man he was too mopey for me. I'm like, dude, you're Spider-Man. Like, stop being mopey. Stop moping around.
I can't. Okay.
But I also don't like that version of the comics either. I don't like Mary Jo or whoever. Mary Jane, whatever. I like him with the other one. The other one. I forget what his name is.
Okay, Sean, please say something before I.
Oh, I don't know. I have nothing to offer for this conversation.
Okay.
The last time I saw Batman, Michael Keaton was Batman.
Okay. Well, first off.
Well, this is Spider-Man.
Wrong.
But also, I had a really bad experience when I watched the first Spider-Man. I had like a babysitter whose house smelled really weird, and she wouldn't feed me for hours, and she would take me to her house and make me sit down and watch Spider-Man for hours and hours and hours.
So you were preconditioned to hate it.
You guys. I don't know, Kat, can I share this? Okay, I don't want to share it without your permission. Kat sent me a photo of her as the wardrobe. sure. But I'm not going to do it without permission. So.
Oh my God, Kat, please
No,
send it to me. I want to see it.
I love it so much. Anyways, Tobey Maguire, is the best Spider-Man. And the fact that you said you liked Andrew Garfield better than Tobey Maguire, I literally cannot be friends.
I don't know if it's Tobey Maguire as an actor in general, but like he was just very mopey and very serious about it and never had like a comedic aspect to it. Other than his dry humor, which I don't understand sarcasm or dry humor very well. So I feel like that also plays an aspect.
Okay, hold, Sam. Hold. I don't know how to make this, wait, how do you make it where it's just my screen? Is that possible? I feel like it is. Oh, wait.
It is.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so Kat said yes, I can show this, and I'm so excited. So this is a moment. I don't know. Oh, gosh. Okay. This is her. Oh, my gosh, it's not going to show good. I'm sorry. You can't really see, but this is her as the wardrobe.
That is so cute.
I love it.
I'm obsessed.
I love it.
It's really not focusing on your face at all. Oh, but thank you for sending that. That is so cute. I love it. I love it with like a deep passion in my soul. Okay, how do I get people back? Okay, Sam, I had to share that while it got sent to me. What were we even talking about before then? Oh, yeah, Morgan being banned from the chat.
I'm sorry, but I feel like
kicked off the island.
I am excited for him to come back and for all of them to be together, and then hopefully that's going to happen in the new Spider-Man. But Tom Holland's my favorite, though, out of all of them. Tom Holland's my favorite, so
I like Tom Holland, and I don't dislike Andrew Garfield. But the fact that you think that he's better than Tobey Maguire, something in me just like wants to die.
I just think he had more fun with it. I like seeing people have fun, and I feel like Tobey Maguire's is way too serious for me.
But I loved it because it was such a serious storyline. Like I felt like the storyline was so good, and then but they had the different love interests too. Like they had Mary Jane and then Gwen. Wasn't it Gwen? Wasn't that her name?
Yes, Gwen, and I love Gwen. And I love Emma Stone. Love Emma Stone.
I love Emma Stone, but probably unpopular opinion. I liked Mary Jane. Like, I don't know if I'd say I like her better, but I loved their romance. That upside down kiss in the rain. It's
yeah, I do like there are redeeming factors. I really think it's just like when I originally watched them, it was a whole like scarring aspect of my life that I try to put out. And so I feel like I now associate those movies with a headache and being hungry. So I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. Christina says she loves Tom Holland, and in his interviews, he's too cute. Okay, I love Tom Holland because
Lip battle. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in that though, but I've seen the show. I haven't seen him in the show.
He's only on one episode, and he does a Rihanna.
Oh, so
Umbrella.
Is that the guy who did the Umbrella song?
Yes.
He did. He did well.
I'll have to look it up. I do like lip sync battle, but I love Tom Holland because I like find these like weird, like on YouTube, like they'll recommend like these mashups of like interviews of stars, and I like watch Jake Gyllenhaal and all. I just love it. I love watching all their interviews. Obsessed. Like I got obsessed with Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard one time because they're all their interviews. Well, Tom Holland had this one. It wasn't even an interview, I don't think, but it was in the mashup video for interviews, and it was like him getting this poster or something from one of the movies, and he's like, "Oh, this is so cool! I gotta show you guys." And on the back, it literally reads, "Private, confidential, do not show anyone." And he's on live. He's like on live, and he turns it around to show, and he like sees on the back. He's like, "Oh crap!" Gets it off, and I love how he like always almost gives spoilers to everything because I relate to that so much. So
yeah,
I love that.
Also, I agree with Kat's comment that he brings a lot of youth to Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is supposed to be like a very youthful character because he's a teenager, and I feel like Tobey Maguire just didn't give me that, because he was also like, I think he was almost 30 when he started doing the Spider-Man movies.
I like Andrew Garfield, and I liked how they did that, and I liked how it was different. But it's just, I grew up, like literally, I had the VHS of Spider-Man. Toby
Yeah.
Sorry. Like I grew up and I loved the whole Green Goblin, like with the Franco guy. I can't remember his first name, but I loved that. Like I just loved and Mary Jane. To me, it's just that's one of my and Spider-Man. I'll still say to this day, Spider-Man is like my favorite superhero, even probably over Iron Man, just because I loved my experience growing up watching those movies. I didn't have the traumatizing experience you had, Morgan.
I don't know. I also have very little attention span for very serious movies. So.
Yeah, I thought it was great though. The YouTuber says Sam Raimi directed the original Spider-Man movies. He's currently directing Doctor Strange 3, and Kat says that she loves Sam Raimi. And I'm excited for Doctor Strange. I got a sneak peek of him. I know he's on a lot of interviews with Tom Holland. But I got a sneak peek of him when I was doing my little sneaky Pepper and Tony spoiler splurge. He came in for like one scene.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see his movies because I've heard really, really good things about him.
Yeah. I love Doctor Strange in his first movie. I love that movie. I don't know if Sam Raimi, I don't know. I don't know if he directed that one too, but if he did that one, then he did a good job. So I am excited for Doctor Strange too.
Devontae asks, isn't the Tom Holland episode of Lip Sync when Tyrone is performing by blanking on her name? I wouldn't know, but Morgan, do you know?
Do you mean Zendaya? He went against Zendaya because Zendaya is the new Mary Jane, which I also love.
Zendaya was Mary Jane? I didn't know this. I haven't seen the versions.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I haven't. I've seen him. I just haven't seen his version. Well, I take it back. I saw a piece of the fight scene in Civil War, I think, with him in it. Like I saw.
Yeah, she's not. She's only in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But I've only seen the first Spider-Man of Tom Holland's. I haven't seen the second one, Far From Home. But Mary Jane or Zendaya plays the new MJ.
I'm excited. I don't know. The original will always be my favorite. I feel like though, like that's just my.
I know my opinion's very controversial. I've learned.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe my opinion is very controversial, but I will die by that opinion.
No, I think a lot of people agree with you on that opinion. I've heard a lot of people agree with you on that opinion.
I'm one of those people. I respect everyone's opinion. I really do, and like because that's one thing I love about being in a fandom is like I used to watch and this is true for anything. Like I'll watch a show and I will ship a couple together, and I will be like, this is my couple. So like I love this couple together. And someone will ship someone else, and I'm like, I have no idea why on earth your brain decided that's who you like. But I respect you. You can be wrong. But no, I do. I enjoy it a lot. Like people having different.
Were we talking about War Machine earlier?
Yes.
Wait, okay, so my brain does this. Wait, going back to that, Tom Holland's Spider-Man character is supposedly just as smart as Tony Stark. So maybe he'll take over War Machine's machining.
Oh, Tom Holland is the guy who plays Spider-Man in the Avengers movies?
Yes.
He seems so young.
Finally, I'm not the one that doesn't know something.
Well, I've never seen any of the Spider-Man movies, so I don't know how
he is young. He's a little older than me, so he's like almost 30-ish.
I know, but he looks like when I first saw him in the first time he appeared in the Avengers series, I thought he was like 15. Like he just looks so young.
I think he was very young. I think in the first one,
I forget how young you are.
He was like 17, 18.
You remind us yet again how young you are. You're like, he was young. That was only like 5 years ago.
Well, I call myself old all the time.
Wait, Morgan. Okay, wait. Hold for a second. Bye, Kat. Thank you so much for participating in this super long chat that went everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
We stuck to task the first hour. I feel like
what about this? Then we got work. But thank you so much. And I loved the picture you sent. So, yeah. So let's see. Oh, I was gonna answer this, getting back on topic really quickly. Christina says, Kaylee, do you think that Wanda and Vision will stay together? Lord, I hope so. I really want them together.
I feel like they will after Vision's talk with Darcy.
I do too.
I feel like Darcy gave him some perspective in episodes. So maybe that was like the whole purpose of they're stuck in this fake intersection scene where she's like reminding him that Wanda loves him.
Yeah, I liked the part where he was like, what am I doing talking to you? I'm going to go to my wife. And I was like,
yay! Because I need you right now.
Christina, do you mean stay together in that aspect, though?
I mean, were they ever really together?
No, like, does she mean, like, will he live beyond this?
Oh.
Because we already know that he can't live outside. He can't exist outside of the hex.
So, all I say is that if Wanda had to live the rest of her life in a bubble with him, she'd do it probably.
I think she would, but we know from the trailer that that's not going to be the case.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like my kind of theory from the beginning was I thought that he was going to die. Or die again or whatever. But I hope they don't. Like, I really think it'd be great for him to be back. I thought also at one point they might kill off Wanda at the end and let that be the twist. But I don't know. Like, I don't want them to kill anyone off, but I also feel like no one's safe. Like, it could be Wanda. It could be Vision. Could be Darcy. Probably not. Like, could be anyone.
I have a small theory that he's going to want, he's obviously not going to live past this, I don't think. But he's going to want Wanda to take his body to Wakanda. And if she wants him, they're going to have to figure out how to put him back together without the Mind Stone. And I think that's going to lead into Black Panther 2, which there's been a lot of talk about Zuri taking over the role of Black Panther. And so I think that's going to how it's going to be set up, in my opinion.
Which makes sense.
Which would make sense because she was the one that said she thinks she can make it so that Vision can live without the Mind Stone. So, and then he would be safe there from being used as anyone's weapon. So, that's my theory. I have no backstory on that, but
it's not a bad theory, though. It's not a bad theory.
Yeah, and maybe,
quite frankly, I would feel like, honestly, as a woman and as a Black woman, like if they brought in somebody else to be Black Panther when she is like sitting right there next in line to take the throne, I would be completely offended.
Well, recently the actress has been in some hot water, so they might.
But not necessarily. For me, it doesn't necessarily have to be that actress.
Oh yeah.
It needs to be the character. It needs to be his sister. She would be the next in line for the throne. I don't see like them bringing, if they brought in some, like I would be highly offended if they brought in someone like from another tribe or just another man to play Black Panther.
I'm also hoping, but my other thing is, okay, so they burned all in Black Panther. The herb is no longer.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just saw Christina's comment.
Yeah, I like her too. I think she could be the new Tony Stark as well. Her and Tom Holland together. Maybe could like figure out some stuff because she's super smart. But I also wonder like how they're gonna, now that whatchamacallit died this past year.
Whatchamacallit?
I can't remember his name. But the guy that plays Black Panther, he died in real life of cancer.
Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Now that he died, I don't know names. And then so I really hope that they filmed. I really hope they somehow filmed some things with him about how they're gonna end his character, because I need some closure on that. How does this descend work?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but Christina,
why are you mad at me? I don't understand.
Whatchamacallit?
I don't know.
I didn't even know that emoji existed.
Yeah,
Okay. But yeah, I haven't seen Black Panther, obviously, but I know like when an actor dies, I like for that to be like kind of the end. If it can happen, like if it's reasonable. Like obviously sometimes it's like, okay, Harry Potter, Dumbledore, like you can't quit Harry Potter after the first 2 movies just because Dumbledore, died.
2.5. They didn't even finish filming the second one when he died.
Yeah, so like you have to kind of like certain things like that. Like obviously you gotta recast. It has to happen. It's sad, but like that has to happen. But if it can, like, and again, I don't know his storyline enough, but if it's possible, I think that should just be the end for Black Panther.
They've said it's going today.
Yeah. So that's just my kind of thing. Devontae says Suri, I don't know if I said that right or not, but was a Black Panther in the comics. But my bet is M'Baku.
So you just had to have seen Black Panther to know what that means. He's just another character in the film. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. No, I haven't seen Black Panther.
Devontae, there's no more herb.
That was my point. Picking another man from another tribe when his sister, who's like the rightful heir to, have her chance at the throne, just makes me angry.
But there's no more herbs, so it doesn't even matter.
Is Suri his sister?
Yes.
Okay.
She's like she's basically a Tony Stark, but female and Black.
Well, maybe if she's in the comics, if she replaces him, or not really replaces him, but if she's a Black Panther, then maybe. She said, how can you not remember Chadwick's name? They already said they won't recast the King of Wakanda. There will be a new Black Panther. Okay. Yeah, how dare you, Morgan?
I feel like I want to read the comics now.
That's a big
commitment.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
Well, then Christina she's read the comics, so she can just do like summaries on her channel because she is really good at summarizing written words.
And it would go right along with her channel. Replay Disney.
Exactly.
Exactly. I think breaking down comic books or like talking about theories about comic books is a very like good idea. Like I think it's one like a lot of people would be very interested in that because a lot of people who watch these movies are very big into the comic books.
I don't know if you guys have seen like Christina's channel. She's doing a book series now, and the way that she summarizes is like, okay, I don't have to read the book. I know everything I need to know about this. But if I wanted to read the book, I can still read it and not feel like I know everything about this.
Ooh. All right, guys, we're going to try to wrap it up a little bit because it's gone for almost like 2.5 hours. But I did want to ask, going back to WandaVision, and then I'll ask, do you guys have anything else you'd like to add to the end? My question with WandaVision that I don't think we've talked a whole lot about is, we've mentioned the twins, but like, what is your guys' theories about like, where are the twins? What happened to the twins? Like, we never really talked about specifically what we thought happened to them. Do you think that Agnes is just holding them somewhere, waiting to use them? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I have 2 theories.
Okay.
One, Agnes is holding them somewhere, but they're not in that basement. And if they are, they're like in some like there's like another level of the basement. They're not like right in that immediate.
Right.
My other theory is they're with whoever Agnes is working with. They're not there. They're with the person who's really running the show.
I kind of think that Pietro may have them, or whoever it is. I think Pietro is still I think Christina was the one earlier who mentioned about that being Ralph. Her husband was Mephisto. I still like that theory a lot. Or like Pietro being Mephisto or something like that. So, okay, yes. Wasn't it weird? They zoomed in and out on the bug and the bunny. Oh my God.
That's what I was going to say. I think she turned him into something.
The bug and the bunny. Okay, now I got to go watch it again. I don't remember the bug and the bunny.
But okay, did they not have the bunny with them already?
They did. They did already have the bunny.
No, the bunny was
but
there
they
when
had
they
a
came
cockroach.
in the room. When
So
they
zoomed in. They zoomed in on like a giant fly cockroach looking thing, and then they zoomed in on the bunny.
But the bunny was there when the boys came in.
The bunny was there when the boys came in. The bug was not. And so I feel like she maybe turned them into something that's not there. Or, like I said, I looked a little something up about Mephisto. And from what I heard, it ain't pretty. I'm not going to spoil it. But if they're going along with the storyline, it's not pretty.
Well, I just don't want nothing to happen to those kids because they're so darn cute and I love them. And I was so mad at Wanda this episode because Wanda was just like, like at the beginning I was mad at her. Like I just felt like it made sense because I think she was like grieving. And in a lot of ways, I feel like she thought it was the end because Vision knew. And like she kept him alive.
But my whole thing was like, and I'm not a mom, so Ajana Claire, please feel free to tell me if I'm completely wrong about this. But if Agnes was like going over there and talking to her, my very first question to Agnes, like if I'm in a heated rage, I would look at her and be like, where are my kids? Like, why do you not have my kids? Where are they? Like, or like when I first stepped into the house, I would have thought that. I wouldn't have been like, yeah, I want some tea. I would have been like, where are they?
And she doesn't, she like looks at the sandwiches and then she's like, where are the children? And then she goes down to the basement and she's like,
even the way she went looking for them. I mean, if I'm looking for my kid and I think like something isn't right, I'm not, where are my children? Children, are you here in this weird basement where there's vines coming out of the walls? Like,
yeah. She just keeps walking. She's like, oh, this is interesting. Like vines coming out of the wall. Hello, Tim. It is so nice of you to join us. Tim is very into WandaVision, and yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I try.
I have a friend who has the same last name, and he says Pietro, and I think it's Pietro.
I heard
Isn't that what Wanda says?
Wanda
That's what Wanda says too.
But Darcy pronounced it different. She said like she might have said Pietro, but it sounded different, I guess.
No, she said she recast Pietro.
Yeah, I think
it might have just sounded different because, like, I feel like Wanda had like a different accent, I guess, with it.
She does.
Hi, Danielle from Mickey's Girls.
Hi, thank you for joining.
Thank you. I know he's your boyfriend. I'm glad April's gone. You'd be fighting over him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. April. Gosh, she's a big Captain America fan.
But yeah, I didn't like that whole, like, I know it's supposed to be a twist on Modern Family, but like I feel like even Claire would be like going crazy, being like, where are the kids? Where, like, running all around. I wouldn't have like I feel like Wanda should have known better, especially being a superhero and knowing that things are not always as they seem. Like the minute I just didn't. The minute I saw that stuff, I would have been like up in the kitchen, like with my powers, being like, "Where are they?" Like,
yeah. I mean, but that may be also part of like the setup for what's coming next. Like, she's not totally in control of everything that's going on right now.
Yeah, and in the commercial they had in this one, it talked about people going crazy.
Yeah.
And I think she's kind of starting to lose it. I really do. Like, and I feel like that's why her powers are starting to fail her. Maybe it is because someone's draining her. But I also think that if it is this Mephisto character, he can play with your mind and trick your mind. So I wonder if it's like him, like making her, like she's now been under his control for too long. And he is making her go crazy.
Yeah, because all of the glitches that kept happening was just like, okay, what are they setting us up for with all of these little glitches?
I think they're setting it up for the whole thing just falling apart.
So we're finally going to understand why they chose this setup, this concept of these decades of TV shows.
And I've thought this from the beginning, that as soon as they get to, because next is our decade, which is why I think that this might be the last episode, if I'm wrong, or they're gonna split the finale into two. They'll probably split it into two. But I think as soon as they get to our decade, it's like all gonna everything that has happened, all the trauma that she's suppressing is finally gonna hit her, and she's gonna lose it.
I think this episode was a lot of like her grief because like she knows Pietro wasn't real, and she knows that Vision essentially like I think in her mind she thinks Vision hates her because
she made that comment too. She was like, when the boys were like asking about their dad, she was like, well, I can't make him stay if he doesn't want to stay.
Yeah,
like this whole thing like she created was to keep Vision here and alive, and then all of a sudden she's just like, well, if Daddy don't want to be here, I can't make him stay. Like I thought that was a little odd.
Yeah,
no woman goes that hard for a man just to throw in the towel that quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I really do think though that she's just like in a state of like I think everything that she did, and like she was already questioning her decisions. Like we saw her when she was talking to Pietro during the Halloween episode. She was questioning her decisions. She was like, I don't know, is it too far? Like, I feel like she already had a lot of guilt about what she felt like she was doing and whether or not she was actually doing it or not. I don't know. She feels like she was. And I think that she feels a lot of guilt over that. And then you take away like her brother, he's not real. And then you take away Vision, and Vision may hate her now. And he was the reason she did all of it. Like, it's like, I mean, it's just like her world got torn apart again. So I think that's why she was kind of crazy a little bit this morning in the episode. Christina says, are the kids real? I think they are.
Monica said they are. Monica said everything in that world is real. So those are her kids. I just don't know how she had them with the computer husband.
From what I thought is that she just manifested them with her magic. She made them with her magic, and that is what unlocked Mephisto, because they're pieces. Someone referred to it earlier. They are pieces of Mephisto's soul.
That was inside of her because he's her father.
No, Mephisto is just a villain. He's basically like the devil.
Magneto is the one that they were saying earlier.
Oh, father. No, Mephisto is like just the devil. He's like, if you saw Ghost Rider, I don't know if you're familiar with Ghost Rider, but Mephisto is the one that is like Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage. He's like his person, and then when he turns into Ghost Rider, he's completely like split personality kind of thing, and that's Mephisto when he's like the flaming Ghost Rider.
But that would be interesting that if she manifested the kids, why would they have a link to him?
Because they're like,
you can't control them either.
To him,
you can't control the kids. So I think that's, to me, I don't think she created them because she can't control them.
Yeah,
not necessarily, because as a mom, I wish I could control Zoelle, but not control her. But like there are times where I need her to do things that she just doesn't do, and she says things to me like, "Girl."
Well, I was just saying, like, if she's controlling, as far as we know, she's controlling everyone else. Like, she can manipulate everyone else, but like Vision and her kids and Pietro, she couldn't. So to me, I'm like, either that means like they are her kids that she like didn't purely create out of magic, or like I feel like it's Mephisto or Agnes or someone. Like Agnes created Pietro, we know, or did something with him. She was in charge of him, and he couldn't be manipulated. And I feel like maybe they did something to help her bring Vision back, because Vision couldn't be manipulated. So I don't know. Tim has a theory that Mephisto is inside Agnes's evil book. Tim, I think you missed it earlier. Christina had a theory that Mephisto is Agnes's husband, Ralph. I still love it. So Devontae thinks we're wrong. She thinks but she thinks that we're wrong other than the kids, which, I mean, I've always been wrong about all my theories. So I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, because I'm always wrong. But I like to guess. I think it's fun. Tim says, Agnes is also the one obstructing Vision and Darcy. She needs to get the old devil pants summoned up with a combination of Wanda's magic, the kid's essence, and a minimal outside interference. Oh, Tim's just cracked the code here, I think. That sounds pretty legit.
That's what I looked up, and I didn't want to say anything. But basically, like, they're Mephisto's soul. They're different pieces of his soul, and by summoning them, like Wanda summoned them to make them real, and by doing that, she unleashed Mephisto into the world, which is basically the devil and like chaos.
I think that's gonna be so cool, though. Honestly,
I think it would be.
This one might be.
Ghost Rider serves Mephisto. Okay, I wasn't really sure about the Ghost Rider thing. I looked it up, like I said, and so it only gave me small parts, and that's what I took away from the small parts. But that makes a lot more sense.
Christina asks, but Wanda can only create what's there. Was she preggers before the hex? I don't think so.
I don't think she was preggers before the hex, because where would she get preggers from?
Yeah.
Vision is a computer.
Yeah.
Like, even when he had the gum and he like ate the gum, like they showed how like all of his like his mechanical parts were like all like jacked up because of the gum getting stuck in his parts. Like, so I have no idea how she
I think that it was magically created inside the hex by like, I think she had to have definitely had help from like Agnes, or I guess if Tim's theory is right, which it sounds right to me, and Mephisto hasn't really been released yet, I'm assuming Agnes kind of helped. She did something to get Mephisto's soul in children or something. You know, she manipulated the situation.
I think they're basically like, from what I took away from the reading, is that those pieces of his soul are playing the parts of her kids, but they're not actually like her kids. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just don't want her to lose the kids because I feel like she's lost so much, and I love those kids. They're so cute. The little actors are so cute.
I agree. I love those actors. Whoever they got to play them was.
I don't want them to age up either. Like, I really want them to stay that age because they're so cute. YouTuber says that Book in the Basement is going to play a part in future episodes. Probably. I think wasn't it the book that Tim said he thought Mephisto was trapped in?
Yes.
So probably, or it'd be her spell book or something. I mean, it'll probably play some kind of role for sure. Why does he think?
That is a very good question.
I think because when they're in the hex, like he doesn't know, and he knows like what's. I don't know. I wonder if it's because Wanda can't manipulate him, but I wonder if like he had planted, like, because he has planted memories. We know this because like he only remembers like they're in love and like all that. So like I feel like maybe Agnes
he also knows he's a computer with no anatomical parts to like he doesn't have like what it takes to make a kid. Like
I don't know. I feel like, did someone say in the comic books that he also thought they were his kids? I feel like I had a comment like that once.
I think that's just like, that's kind of like not.
But he's also been
like that's kind of like an expected thing. Like, oh, your wife's suddenly pregnant. Oh, must be mine.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's accepted a lot in this show, right? Like every time something changed, he just accepted it. Like
in the beginning, he definitely did.
Because he said in the last episode how, you know, it's always changing. But so he's noticed the changes. He's just accepted them. Like you go to bed one night and you wake up tomorrow and it's 10 years later, or your wife is like pregnant at 9 a.m. and she's giving birth at 9 p.m. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting how like he became more and more aware, I guess. And then like, I don't know. I think it's interesting though that he, like, she can't really control him. I do still think, I did get a comment from someone that was talking about the stork and like how she couldn't get the stork to go away. Like the stork was magic's there and she would try to send it away and she like couldn't send the stork away. So I feel like anytime she can't like affect something with her magic, I feel like that has to be something beyond her. Like either Agnes or Mephisto, whatever. Like it can't, if she can't send it away, like I feel like it can't be what she's doing. But obviously the force field is her because she moved it and like she changed the decade stuff and stuff like that. But like the scene at the end where Agnes was in the director chair, I think she's like influencing her. It might be her magic changing it, but I think Agnes is definitely influencing her making those decisions. He started to rethink things, but why, and she corrected, aren't the kids the first to question. They did question her about the day changing, but
and their game changing.
Okay, you mean like literally why is he not questioning the kids? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he wants the children, or maybe he just feels obligated to them, even if they're not like biologically his children. Tim says, if you really want to get meta, the woman wailing in the end credits of every episode sounds eerily similar to the theme music for Rosemary's Baby.
I don't know what Rosemary's Baby is.
I like vaguely know.
Creepy movie from like way back when.
Yeah.
Is it like the 80s, the 70s, 80s?
That's probably why.
I think Rosemary had like gave birth to like the devil's baby, or like the baby was the devil, or the baby was a devil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I've never seen it, but that's what I remember hearing. So she can't control Vision. Then did she really bring him back? I think, Christina, she had to have had help to bring him back, because I feel like if her magic alone would have brought Vision back, then she probably could have controlled him. But I don't know. I would imagine someone had to help her.
I go back to my original theory that it wasn't her original idea. I think somebody planted this, like it was her doing it, but only because it was planted in her mind to do this.
Wait.
That's why she got the body. That's why she created the hex. That's why she took all of these people.
And that's why she doesn't know how it all started.
And then as the story developed, she's just had to create other things to go on. Like when Vision started questioning, why are there no children? And then in the next episode, there were like 5,000 kids in the neighborhood.
That is a very good point, an interesting thought. So like, I always thought that like she was taken advantage of almost because she wanted to bring Vision back. But I do remember now there was a scene a few episodes ago where like they literally were like, oh, she brought Vision back, but it was like against his wishes. Like he didn't want to be brought back because he didn't want to be someone's weapon. And I'm like, okay, you could say on one hand, maybe she did bring him back because she was grieving and she needed someone and she didn't have anyone. And maybe she did just disregard his wishes. And like, there's a part of me that thinks that could happen because she's like really manipulating him. But then there's a part of me that's like, maybe she was just, like you said, like maybe they put it in her head, like you need to bring him back. And Hayward, that would tie Hayward into it because he wants him back to be a weapon.
He wants him back as a weapon.
So that would tie him into it.
So they needed her magic to do certain things.
Yeah.
But I really think she is being controlled. So like she, in her mind, she thinks she's in control, but I think she's really being controlled, which is why I don't feel like she's the villain in this. I feel like she is just another pawn.
Yeah. Which I'm so happy because I got a lot, I wouldn't say I got a lot of hate, but I got a lot of comments who were like mad at me for even defending Wanda. But I felt so bad for Wanda for most of the episodes. Like I really did because I felt like I knew she was grieving. Tim says, I don't think Wanda has the power to revive the dead, human or synthetic, either one. Agatha almost certainly offered her a deal to boost her powers unknowingly with Metaphys's help. So, yeah, I think she could have offered her a deal, but I also think, I don't know, maybe she could have just taken advantage of her. The question is, how did these two run into each other? Like, that's where I'm like, I'm not sure, because that's where Hayward could also come in. I don't know. Hayward, I feel like, is tied into this in some form or fashion.
I feel like Hayward would never work with someone like that has powers because he seems to be very against them.
No, I think he would work with someone that has powers to his own benefit.
Now, is he a character from another thing? Is this his first appearance, or has he been in other stuff?
This is his first appearance.
This is his first appearance. But
yeah,
I
think he would definitely work with someone.
I agree with you, Danielle. He's crooked for sure.
Yeah,
I think he would work with someone like to get a weapon. Yeah, I think he would manipulate the situation for sure.
You know what my whole question is? That still has not been answered. So this all started. We only found out about Westview and this whole thing because the FBI had a missing
person.
in the Marshall program and the
witness protection.
Yeah, and witness protection.
Who
is that person? We still don't know who that person is. We don't know where they are. He has not said anything about his missing witness. And yet he's still there. Like, why has, I forget what his name is, but why has the FBI agent not even thought to ask or look for his missing witness if that's why he was there in the first place? So has his missing witness not appeared yet on the show?
Or maybe he wasn't missing a witness. Maybe he just needed a reason to be there because he knew Vision was there.
But not Hayward. Hayward has nothing to do with this. This is the FBI agent.
Oh, Cho.
Yeah. Why has he not been concerned? That's my whole big thing. Where is his witness? Because I think if he saw his witness on the show, he would have said something. So clearly he hasn't seen his witness on the show yet. So who is this witness, and does this tie in to who may be controlling Wanda?
Well, and Agatha, I don't know if this is really significant or not, but she knows who they are. She knows that Vision died, and she might have wanted to manipulate the situation. So she kind of might have sought him out. I was going to say something else, and I've like completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, my thought was like Pietro being the missing one. Or I don't know, but I remember when I actually cut it out of my reaction, and I'm so mad that I did because I thought it was stupid. But the scene with the people, I literally thought, I was like, why did they skip over Agnes? Because Agnes is such a big character, and they were talking about, oh, this is so and so, this is so and so, and they had her picture up on the board, and I thought, oh, it can't be significant then, or they would have said something about it. But because they didn't say her name, that was significant because Agatha is a character in the comics, so people would have known if her name would have been on there, then people would have known that it was her. So
but I mean, that whole witness thing may just be a side, it may just be it doesn't really matter, but it does. Why would you make a big deal about it? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
In a way to bring the FBI guy in and bring all of SWORD in, but that's what I
had tons of scenes in this show that or facts that are just what are they? Are they real facts? Are they facts that we're supposed to care about? Are they facts that are going to be relevant later, but they seem irrelevant now? Go back to episode 1. There are a lot of facts in that show. None of them seem to be very relevant now.
Yeah.
So Tim asked, he said, did we already cover Monica's powers? And we did briefly. We were talking about, we thought that maybe they were bringing in the whole mutation thing, since they were maybe going to start bringing X-Men over. So we talked about that.
It's also a lead-in to Captain Marvel 2, apparently. Which, why do you need a second Captain Marvel if there's nothing wrong with the first one?
Well, because the first one has to save all the other planets. Now it makes sense to me when you said that. The first one has to save all the other planets, so we need a Captain Marvel here, but she can't be in 2 places at one time. So she's off saving the other planets, so now we have.
But is she going to stay here, or is she going to go join her?
I think maybe she's Earth's Captain Marvel. I don't know.
Guys. The YouTuber just put this comment. Okay. In the first 2 episodes, a lot of people were mentioning children to Wanda. The mom from the 70s was saying, why don't you have children yet? And the talent show said, for the children. And
that's true.
And there were no children yet.
No, but think about for the children. They're trying to create, they're doing something to create the children. Maybe she was doing something.
And that's what I wondered too when I was watching that episode, and then they kept saying for the children. I was like, normally if there's fundraisers for children, there would be children there. And there were no children. So what the heck?
Well, and at that point, there were no children in the town.
Yeah, that's what I meant. There was no children around.
They also say, I think Agatha has been tricking Wanda into doing things. Definitely think so. Or really, I think maybe she's even being mind controlled because we saw that, you know, and obviously I think her reality is kind of altered. I mean, she thinks she's in control. So yeah, I definitely think so. But this other comment was like, I mean, I didn't even think of that. That is such a good point. So also in the first 2 episodes I think it was during the commercials, we had the ticking. Do y'all remember that? It was like ticking. It went away, and it didn't do it in any of the other commercials. But the first 2 commercials, there was like ticking.
Did she have the kids in episode 3?
I think she was pregnant in episode 3.
So her biological clock stopped ticking.
I guess.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
always thought it was like a ticking time bomb, like Wanda's a ticking time bomb.
Oh, maybe they were like running out of time to like get the kids in the oven. I don't know. Maybe there's a timeline for this ritual to get Mephisto back.
So Devontae had a comment. She said Monica is a galactic hero. Marvel's still not their universe.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense. I mean, why they call her Captain Marvel. But, like, I was just, like, I don't know.
But I thought in the comics she was, like, something else, though. Like, Photon or something.
Someone had another comment earlier about her being someone else, and I can't remember what exactly.
I feel like her name was, like, Photon or something. Let me look at my female superhero book.
I had in the comment. It was
look her up.
Yeah. We've circled back.
I mean, clearly, I don't understand. I don't really know, but clearly she does not like Captain Marvel. Like, Monica and Captain Marvel are not on good terms.
Really?
Every time they bring her up, it's like a sore subject.
Because they were, like, really close when she was little.
Yeah, they were really close. So I don't know if it's like an abandonment issue or what, but I hope that gets addressed in the movie.
Well, honestly, okay, knowing nothing at all, I really thought they were like lovers or something because that was the kind of tension I was getting. I knew nothing.
No.
That's probably
that would be too
She
weird.
was like not to, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
So I'm just saying that was like the vibe I was getting. Like
she's like best friend. Captain Marvel was best friends with her mom.
Yeah.
Probably not, but like
that would be like really creepy and weird because she was so much older than her.
And Captain Marvel hasn't been back to Earth since Endgame, or since Endgame happens. So yeah.
Christina says maybe Agatha is not being summoned by Wanda and she's showing up to push things along. Yeah, I definitely think, like, I used to think that she was being summoned by Wanda because she always, you know, obviously always showed up. But I definitely think that, like, Agatha was, like, controlling the whole episode. You don't think Monica is going to take the moniker Captain Marvel? She's going to be Spectrum.
Photon. See, I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, and then Devontae says Photon, Spectrum, Daystar. So yeah, Spectrum was the one though that I remembered seeing earlier. I was trying to find what lovers. Okay, I had not seen Captain Marvel, and so like when they had that moment where they mentioned her and it was like awkward, it made me feel like this moment, like it was a lover moment. Like I felt
like when you like mentions when you're like, oh hey, how are you and so, and like meanwhile you guys broke up like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no,
like
I
love subject.
I thought it was something like either she died and like that was a moment where like she was like, oh, like we had this like romance or whatnot. I don't know. Like that's just what my brain went to. Because I'm like I just usually think romance. So okay, Tim says last theory. I think the commercials are being plucked from Wanda's subconscious. Example, the first one was Stark toaster blinking because a Stark missile was blinking at her as a child, etc. Yeah, Strucker, did she go and work for Strucker? Or Strucker was something.
Stark.
No, but the next one was Strucker.
Oh. Strucker was the people that took her and gave her powers.
Okay. Yeah. The ticking time in the toaster commercial has something to do with the Avengers Age of Ultron regarding Tony Stark and trauma in Wanda's past. Okay, well, I mean, I think it was in Legends, so I knew that. The YouTuber and I are on the same wavelength, yes. But Tim just spoiled it for me, but it's okay. He really didn't, because I knew. It's fine. But yeah, I think that makes sense. That's really smart. And that's one of those things too, like, because I hadn't seen it. Just
So maybe the commercials then are Wanda's way of breaking through who's ever controlling her and trying to make sense and get back to reality.
I think it's maybe her processing her past.
Yeah. And her trauma.
Yeah, and trying to trying
and then
to like
it's now about to catch up with her.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I don't like the flashes where they go and suddenly Vision's like all dead and Pietro's all shot with bullet. I hate those. They like those are some jump scares.
Zoelle, did you come to say hi? Wait, let me see if I can get you like. Oh no! Add to stream. Okay, I'm sorry. It's good. I got you. It's fine. Hey, Zoelle. Hi.
Hi, Zoelle.
I love you.
Oh, we love you too, Zoelle.
Well, have you ever watched our video before?
Have I ever watched your videos before?
Of course.
And
We absolutely have watched your videos.
last year, I was baby Groot.
Oh, you were baby Groot last year?
And now I'm going to be Gamora, and Mom's going to be baby Groot.
Okay,
And
I don't know who Gamora is.
Halloween.
I don't know. I'm just.
Well, we're going to Halloween, so we're finding me a shirt on Halloween.
Okay, all right. Good night.
No, baby. Did I remember?
You just said hi. You're done saying hi.
So I wanted to contribute to the conversation.
Okay.
You can't see my face. There we go.
Okay. All right. That's enough. Bye. Goodbye.
Devontae also said, "Hey Zoelle," and she says, "I don't think the show is going to end happily." Probably not. I
From
wish.
like the previews, it doesn't look like it.
That makes me sad.
I haven't seen a lot of the previews. The only one I can remember seeing is there's one, and they've been showing it for forever, like where Wanda was like talking about they have to defend their town or something like that, and it seemed like her and Vision were like fighting together. So
The one I just remember is when the very first trailer, it's the first or second trailer for the entire season. And there's this one clip that just sticks out in my mind and I'm waiting for it. And it's Wanda literally just standing there with like trying to use her powers and the entire, like there's a ceiling kind of, and I know it's the hex ceiling and it's just falling apart around her. And she's just like glowing with her powers, like trying everything she can. And for whatever reason, it's not working and everything's falling apart. And she's visibly upset. And that's what I'm waiting for. And I think that's going to come in the next 2 episodes. Obviously,
it's got to come in the next 2 episodes. Obviously,
I'm hoping it comes in the next one, but because I'm really tired of waiting for this.
I definitely think we were commenting on how slow this episode was kind of starting, but I do not think the next 2 episodes are going to be that way. At least I hope they're not, because they're the last 2 episodes. Like they've got to be.
I just feel like they have a lot of ground to cover, and they can't do what they did in this episode. Like I don't know if maybe the next 2 episodes there just wasn't. Maybe they covered everything in those 2 episodes, and so they kind of dragged this one out. I don't know, but. I feel like there's just too many questions that need to be answered for them to waste a half.
They may never answer those questions, though.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think they can't. I kind of almost see this as like when you have a very intense show, you need almost like to break away from the intensity and kind of just have a lighthearted episode, and I feel like that's what they were trying to do, but they just kind of wasted our time because the Marvel universe is just like, I want to know what happens. Like, don't waste my time. Like,
yeah. I wouldn't even call it like a happy little break because I really honestly didn't like Wanda during the first half of this episode. Like, I liked Wanda during pretty much the whole show. Like, there was a few episodes in the beginning, actually. Like, I think it was episode 2. I didn't actually like Vision that episode. The talent show episode, he was acting like crazy because the gum. I didn't like him that episode. But Wanda, like, I've always really kind of liked Wanda, and she's always been at least an interesting character. But like this episode, I feel like it just was so like I just really didn't like her, and
she was just giving up. It felt like she was giving up on everything she had worked so hard
for. I also feel like it was intentional, right?
Yeah,
like
no, it was.
Show that something else was controlling her. Like when the producer talked back to her and asked her that question, she was like, "Hey, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be talking."
Yeah, like
I mean, that was almost like the setup for Wanda's not the one really controlling all of this.
Yeah, I don't know if she like knew something was wrong. I feel like she was like she felt like it was defeat. Like she felt like everything was falling apart and everything she did was really for nothing. If Vision hated her, everything she did was for nothing, and or if he like died and left or whatever, like it wouldn't be worth it.
But I think she also gave up on her kids. Like, and I didn't like that at all. I was like, you worked so hard for all of this, and you're just giving up on them. You're just saying, whatever. Like, I understand, like, moms need me time, and I think that's where it was leading to, which I think the first episode of Modern Family did the same thing. She had 3 kids, and she just needed me time, and she never got it. But, like, I really didn't like the way they went about it. Yeah. And I think they are setting it up for that she's going essentially insane. But
I just don't want her to be insane. I want her and Vision to be happy together. That is what I want in my dream world. Will it happen?
Oh, you're gonna get that.
But I want it to happen because I'm just a hopeless romantic, which is just how I am. So that's what I really want.
I also like that Vision's finally clued into every single thing. Because I was just like, why wouldn't you just tell him what happened? Why wouldn't you just tell him about the past? Because that's how you guys got together. You guys bonded about.
Because he was also a very, even in like the movies, I feel like he was also a very like by the book, like we have to do things the right way in a certain way. Like he was very, like even when they created Vision, he was like, I'm not. What did he say in the movie? He was like, I'm not for one side or the other. Like, I'm not on your side. I'm not on this side. I just am. Yeah. So I don't know that she thought that she could give him the truth at that point because it wasn't like she knew how he would react to it.
Yeah. But like, just tell him how he became him. Like, tell him about Ultron and how he is what he is. Because he didn't even remember Ultron. He didn't remember Jarvis. He doesn't remember any of that. So, like, why doesn't she just tell him that? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. I think it really comes down to, like, she just wanted them to have, like, a life away from that. Like, she didn't even want Monica mentioning Ultron. Like, she just wanted a life away from all of that. Like, I don't think she wanted to think about the Avengers. I don't think she wanted to think about Ultron. I don't think she wanted any of it. She just wanted a normal life. Like, that's what I think she wanted. And so I think she thought that she could just, like, they could just forget about all of that and just be, like, a normal couple. Because that's what I think she never had, like, growing up, she just had a horrible childhood with all that going on, and I think she just wanted to be happy and be away from all that drama and all the like good and the bad and being pulled, different sides and having all this hurt. Like, I think that's kind of why she didn't tell him. Mm-hmm. I think she just wants to deny it herself. Like, she doesn't want to acknowledge any of it. YouTuber says, I've seen the commercials are her grieving about her trauma in her past, which I agree. Demonte says, I think this show sets up the multiverse, and because there are movies and TV shows, they can leave the end wide open with questions. Yeah, I do. I think they're going to kind of use that as well. I think they're going to just leave it open. And the YouTuber says, Wanda has been going crazy lately. Yeah. Pretty much.
Like I said, leaving it open makes sense because if they're setting it up if they're using these Disney Plus shows to set the stage for the next phase of the movies, then it makes sense that we're not going to have answers. We're going to be probably further along in the dialogue, but we're not going to have like any resolution to the conflict. We may know more about the how and the why. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cut you off. I'm really sorry. Were you done? Or you can continue?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like trying to gauge. Tim says Wanda has long been confirmed as a major character in Doctor Strange 2, which makes me feel better because that makes me feel like she'll live. We're waiting to see whether she'll be an ally or an enemy. I think an ally. I really don't think she's going to be a villain at the end of WandaVision. My personal opinion.
I don't know. I have to see how this all, I'm assuming we'll at least get the answer as to how this all started and if she is being controlled by someone else. I think if she's being controlled by someone else and someone has that much power over her, and if Mephisto really does have her kids, Agatha has her kids, they have Vision, I think she'll do anything for them. So whoever controls her family controls her in a sense. And so I don't know. I could see her being an enemy. I really hope she's not.
I don't know about her being an enemy against Doctor Strange, though. I don't know.
They've really never had an interaction.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I know that his character intrigues me. But I feel like the only person I can see Wanda being an enemy against is Agatha and Mephisto and Hayward. Anyone who tries to if they destroy her life essentially, again, I think that's going to be where it is. But I do think her and Monica are going to end up on the same side because Monica genuinely really cares about Wanda because I think she seems like she understands her grieving, and she felt in that episode where she got released and she felt the grief and she could really feel Wanda's grief, and I think she related a lot to that because she was feeling grief about her mother dying. So I think she really held on to that grief with Wanda, and that's why she's really kind of defending Wanda a lot too, because she can understand where Wanda's coming from.
Yeah.
The YouTuber says that WandaVision goes into Doctor Strange 2. So yeah. I didn't know that until today, but
I told you that.
Did you?
Yeah.
When did you tell me that?
Last week.
Oh, girl, I don't know. See, some of the things that y'all tell me, y'all really think you're spoiling me. If it's something that I don't really understand, it just goes in one ear, and I'm I can't. My brain doesn't absorb. So, and knowing now though, it is with me because 3 people have told me, so I'm got it in the brain bank. We're Gucci. We're good to go. All right, guys. So I think let's try to wrap it up here because I'm getting really sleepy, and I know y'all probably are because y'all are later than I am. When Morgan says she doesn't go to sleep till 3 a.m.
I still have to film a pin unboxing after this.
Morgan, how are you alive? Right now, I keep yawning.
I'm thinking I might as well film a pin unboxing since I got my hair and makeup done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I already
might waste the hair and makeup and then have to do it all over again tomorrow.
I did do a video today that I think is going to turn out terribly, but we're going to try. When I went to the flea mall, there was these this booth that had all these comic books, right? And I'm oh, this is cool. And I was doing a video about Disney finds and Marvel finds and thrift stores, and it's really fun. I think that's gonna be a good video. However, there was these little grab bags or whatever of 10 mystery comic books, and I was oh, that would be so interesting. So I get it and I bring it home. I know nothing. I'm opening these and oh, this is interesting. Don't know anything about it. Like, so maybe it's gonna be a good video. Probably not, but like, I got it. I opened it. It was mystery, but like, it's. Oh, it seemed like a better idea when I was there.
You're trying.
I tried. It was fun, and there was actually some good comics in there. There was several that were like Avenger kind of ones, and then there was like a New Titans one, which I used to watch Teen Titans, and I looked like the same characters. So I was like, oh hey. No, it had like Cyborg, and Cyborg was in Teen Titans and Beast Boy, and I was like, okay, like
I'll be right back. I have to use
I think
we're gonna. Okay, you go. I was gonna say we're.
No, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Morgan. What's coming up on your channel?
Okay, so on my channel so I just went to Disney, so I've started a new series called Haul Saturday. My first one came out today. Definitely go check that out. It's all about my Festival of the Arts haul. I have like Character Warehouse haul, regular Disney haul, pin hauls. I do a lot of pin unboxings, so I have some of those coming out. If you don't know, I lost my camera on my trip, so there's limited.
Bless it.
There's limited vlogs coming out, but I do have a big Festival of the Arts Epcot food review vlog-esque coming out. And then I have a bunch more food reviews coming that I'll be doing from my trip. So
she's rolling with what she got.
I'm reaching here.
All right. What about you, Ajana Claire? And when is your new channel coming out too?
So I'm hoping to launch the new channel by the beginning of March. I was hoping by March 1st, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to edit enough videos to have like 5 videos up by March 1st. But I'm hoping the new channel will be up by March 1st. But for Zoel's World, we have Disney coming up this weekend. So we're going to Disney on Thursday. So I'll have all of the vlogs from that trip coming up.
Didn't know that.
I thought you guys did. I've been talking about it in the group chat.
Okay, girl. I don't have my phone for 9 hours a day.
I didn't know it was Thursday though.
So, I have like, our standard pin unboxings. Zoel's still getting the baby subscription boxes. So we have those unboxings coming up. And I added Bippity to the unboxing challenge. So she's supposed to be getting a child curated Bippity box, and I have added awesome. Mickey Loot. And then I ordered some of the themed Mickey Loot boxes, like one of the really expensive ones. So you want to see what's going in there. So lots of unboxings coming up. And then I'm trying to complete, I was doing the mini bow pins collection. So I have like 10 more boxes of those and like 6 more boxes of the up pins. So trying to complete those collections. And then we have the Disney vlogs. I still have the Hilton Head vlogs that are coming out. We are still doing Small Shop Saturdays, and I've been buying like a ton of stuff. So I have like a lot more of those videos coming out. And then starting March 4th, the first and third Thursday of every month, I am doing a collab with 3 other channels. So it'll be 4 of us total, called the Disney Moms Club. And we will be talking all things Disney live every first and third Thursday.
So it's going to be live, like a live show? Okay.
It's going to be like a live chat. Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for coming on here. Really quickly, one last comment. Devontae
What's coming up for your channel?
No, I'll do it at the end very shortly. Devontae said every comic is someone's first. Just follow a story that intrigues you, which is very true. So I'm really excited to kind of explore. But yeah, so for my channel, obviously I have WandaVision reaction videos. The one for the latest episode, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, probably gonna be maybe Monday. It's gonna be a while. It's coming. I just have like one thing after the other, and starting a new job, I'm not the best person like to multitask, so I'm trying. But yeah, so I'm going to keep on doing my Marvel video reactions probably every other Friday until I get like enough films where I can do every week. I'm still doing some just general Disney reaction Disney reaction videos mixed in with like some Disney collection videos. So just a little bit of Disney and Marvel and reactions in general. I have Lock and Key, which is a Netflix series. I'm doing I've already actually done the reactions, but I have to like get them and whatnot. So a lot of stuff. Christina says, Did I say a lot? Is that why? Or you have a question? Because I probably very fairly say a lot.
Well, I know Morgan has to go to the bathroom. But before we go, can I just say thank you to Devontae and the YouTuber? I mean, Tim and Christina, like, thank you to you guys too. But Devontae and the YouTuber, like, have been hanging in there with us tonight. Like,
yeah,
we're
having
over
very
3
good
hours.
commentary. And the YouTuber, I also have to really shout out because sent me the sweetest comments the other day as well. And I really appreciate you guys for watching this and all of its craziness. You said typo. Okay.
And the fact that they're
Probably
clearly
didn't mean to
like
send it.
comic book aficionados, like they know this series and they're like rolling with us like fresh out of the box newbies. So
I know,
you guys
Devontae
are hanging
had
in there.
comments about our overboard sidebar. So I mean that was something because I'm thinking here, I'm trying to keep it on WandaVision, and then I'm like, no one's gonna want to watch this because it's just everywhere. Like literally talking about everything.
They're gonna watch the first hour, which was about WandaVision.
Yeah.
I mean, the next 2 hours, if anybody's out there watching like a 3-hour live chat replay, like I don't think that actually happens. Like I have never watched a 3-hour live chat replay. I may
ever watch
around
that.
in it, but I've never like sat down for like. I mean, this is like literally longer than Hamilton at this point.
Well, this is me. Like last week, it literally was an hour and 50 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like an hour. Told Morgan, I'm like, yeah, maybe an hour. I was like 2 max, or 2 is the max. And then we get going, and then I'm like, oh, I hate to like end it because we rolling. But anyways,
But it's not like it was like a 3-hour. We're digging for conversation for 3 hours, right? It wasn't like a dragging it on. It was like that first date. You know, that first date that you don't expect to last very long, and next thing you know, the sun's coming up because the conversation just got so good.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you like story times, stay tuned because Jonna Claire's got some good story times. I'm excited. She had this overseas boyfriend that I'm so excited for. She like left us on a cliffhanger in the group chat, and I'm like, Jonna Claire. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Morgan and Jonna Claire, for jumping on. Jonna Claire just like saw my typo. She's like, I'm jumping in there, and I'm so happy because it worked out. Also, Devontae says Hamilton was awesome. So
Yes.
like I love that you
That's
can
like a whole nother 3-hour conversation.
we got it. No, but for real, this is why I wanted to do like a Friday chat about like one Marvel movie, but then it would end up being about everything. So yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much. If you watched the replay, you watched 3.5 hours.
I'll play the replay on the TV overnight. It'll go for 3 hours.
Comment like noodles or something. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm so tired. Oh, this is sweet. Okay, real quick. Keep up the good work, you three. I hope you all have success and happiness in your lives. The YouTuber is like the sweetest person ever. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Bye.